years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered.
I'm Christine Lisi. Hopes raised in Cincinnati that receiver Jamar Chase will play in Sunday's season opener against the Patriots. He took part in the first official practice of game week in individual drills today. He was a hold-in during training camp amid a contract stalemate. The Bengals should pay Chase as soon as possible, advises our Harry Douglas.
Listen, we all think Jamar Chase should go ahead and get his money now, because if you don't pay him the money right now instantly, it's only going to be more down the line. Yesterday's price is not today's price. So if I'm Mike Brown, I'm saying to myself, well, let me go ahead and get this done, because you also are tampering with the Super Bowl contending window.
Titans receiver DeAndre Hopkins returned to practice today, did participate. Hopkins, who suffered a knee injury in late July, could be available against the Bears on Sunday. Falcons tight end Kyle Pitts says he has no concerns about his tweaked hamstring and will play versus the Steelers this week. Brazil says it's tightened security ahead of Friday's Packers-Eagles game amid player safety concerns. LSU running back John Emery expected to miss the rest of the season with a torn ACL.
Why pay more for a great shave? Choose Barbasol, America's #1 brand of shaving cream. Barbasol's thick and rich lather gives you a close, comfortable shave for just half the price of gels. Barbasol.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
That's right! Woo!
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
You're a loser, Matt!
Hey, shut up, kid. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
And Mr. Toby Tom Plate. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there, make it a good one. Tim Rebow, head coach of the Colonels, here in 30 minutes. We got Russ Mitchell in hour 3, a ton to do. And oh, by the way, it's hump day. Yep.
It's hump day.
Muse, I think I screwed that up a little bit. It started
Mike.
What
day is it, Mike?
It was doing like a normal open.
I thought you were forgetting. I'm not going to lie. And then you brought it back, redeemed yourself there.
I don't know. I think it's still the whole thing with the new open and everything. Hump day. It's trying it on still.
It's hump day.
You know what I mean?
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
It's like when you
Not
move.
really. No, I don't know what that has to do with hump day at all.
It's like when you move to a new house. It's routine. You move to a new house.
It's hump day.
Your muscle memory, you drive to your old house sometimes.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Until you get used to the habit of going to your new place. Make sense?
Kind of, but I mean, it's still the same routine of the show open. It's just a different sounding open.
Yeah, but that's the whole
It's hump
point.
day.
Okay.
It's
Mike,
different.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
It's changed. I mean, you move to a new. We're stepping all over each other's toes in this dance right now. You move to a new house.
It's hump day.
You're still driving a car, Muse.
Mike.
Same
Car. What day is it, Mike?
Same car, same roads.
When you put it that way, it makes it make more sense.
Hump day.
This is different.
It's hump day.
All right. This cord is really tangled. I'm going to tell you, I keep trying to get this thing untangled and behind me so it doesn't get in the shot, and it's just all tangled up. All tangled up in emotion, kind of like we are right now with LSU football. A ton to do. Tim Rebow, 30 minutes. Saints injury reports out. Brian Kelly on the teleconference. We'll talk to, tell me the guy's name. The Panthers guy.
Alex Zietlow,
Thank you.
Charlotte Observer.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I feel so bad. I just wrote opposing media on the rundown. I forgot to write Alex Zietlow's name, and I just blanked on his name. Russ Mitchell in hour 3. Ton to do. Let us begin as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light.
So
Drink
bad.
easy.
I feel so bad for Alex. Tell me the guys. Please don't clip that and send it to Alex.
He didn't ask for any of this. We reached out to him.
I just forgot. Muse booked the guest. I forgot who it was. It's my. Just don't clip that and send it to. Which of course now everyone is going to clip that and tag Alex Zietlow in it. That's just how the internet works. The internet going internet. And we begin today with just terribly disappointing news. No other way to say it. John Emery tore his ACL at practice on Wednesday, a non-contact drill. Got word of that this morning, and I know Wilson Alexander had it. Hunt had it over at LouisianaSports.net. Everybody's reporting it now. Brian Kelly was on the SEC coaches teleconference, which was 10 a.m. Central. At that point, the news hadn't broken yet, so no one asked Brian Kelly at that point. I'll tell you, it was probably around 10:30 this morning when I first got word of it. So it's just absolutely devastating, man. When John Emery made his decision after last season to enter the transfer portal and play another season of college football, I spoke about Emery's time at LSU. When ultimately John Emery decided to return to LSU, I spoke about John Emery again, and now I have to essentially say the exact same things about John Emery for the third time. And it's so disappointing because if anyone deserved a storybook ending to their college career, it's this guy. I mean, guys like, when I think of storybook endings at LSU, I think of guys like Matt Flynn and Glenn Dorsey. Flynn was a guy who waited his turn, finally got his opportunity to start in year 5, boom, wins a natty. Glenn Dorsey could have gone pro, passed on millions of dollars after the 06 season, came back for his senior year when everybody told him he should go pro and make money, came back to LSU, wins a national championship, and is still a top 10 pick. Boom. That's a storybook ending. John Emery deserved a storybook ending this year, and it just goes to show you sometimes life sucks. Sometimes it's just not fair. We've talked about his story so many times. John Emery was the number 1 running back in the country back in 2019. Out of Destrehan, came to LSU, contributed on the 2019 national championship team because he was so talented. In 2020, the COVID year, of course, he made it through that season, had a great game week 2 against Vanderbilt. Missed the entire 2021 season because of the academic issue. And remember, at that point, if John Emery wanted to turn pro, he could have at that point. And he would be going now into his 3rd NFL season. Instead, after missing the entire 2021 season, new coach coming in with Brian Kelly decided to return. Missed the first couple games of that season as he was working out academics and came back to have a very solid year for LSU. Of course, maybe the marquee moment of John Emery's entire LSU career was the touchdown reception against Alabama in the overtime win. After that season, could have left, but decided to come back a year ago for a 5th season. Still fighting academic issues because he wanted to graduate and wanted to do it right. And I'll be darned. Has a good season and boom, tears his ACL in November against Florida. But still persevered and walked across the stage. Graduated. Y'all, school ain't easy for everybody. For some people, school is really damn hard. And school ain't meant for everybody. It's not to say people are smart or not smart. That's not the point. School is hard for some people. School was hard for me. I had to work really, really hard to make good grades because it didn't come natural to me. My brother's a brilliant guy. Rolled out of bed, made like a 27 on the ACT in the 7th grade. Just a brilliant guy. I'm not. I just play one on the radio. Anyway, Muse just rolled his eyes at me. I don't blame you. Anyway, in all seriousness, though, about John Emery, at any point he could have left. Could have left, persevered, wanted to graduate, and did. You know, when John Emery graduated and they posted the picture of Emery in his cap and gown at LSU, Frank Wilson quote tweeted that and shared on social. He said, this one just hit different because of everything that John Emery went through to get to that point. And maybe it's magnified even more because, look, there's been a lot of players. There's been a lot of players who have struggled in school and wound up walking across the stage and graduating. But maybe it hits differently in this one just because it's the portal era, man. It's the portal era where guys don't stay. It's not only portal, but it's also NIL. Guys don't stay, guys leave, guys look for better opportunities, they look for money, a lot of different things that pull you away. And y'all know I am the biggest proponent of NIL and portal, and guys should be able to, or girls, student athletes should be able to go seek the best opportunity like any other student would. I've told you my story before. I transferred after my freshman year of college. I made a better decision for me. And so at any point, John Emery could have left and didn't. And so I was pulling for him, like just on a human level, not just like the LSU alum in me that wants LSU to win all the time. Like on a human level, I'm pulling for John Emery. And so to see him go out there against USC and to be your best running back, I mean, to not only have meaningful carries, but to be the best guy was awesome. And I was really hoping that would manifest throughout this entire 12-game season for him and that he'd get to do great things. But unfortunately, torn ACL in a non-contact drill at practice. And, you know, Brian Kelly at the start of fall camp, I think this was the first day of fall camp, he was asked about how they were handling Josh Williams and how they were handling John Emery. And it was so interesting, the contrast, because Brian Kelly was pretty upfront. Like, they wanted to really stress John Emery to see what his body could do.
We wanted to put John in a position where the reps mattered, and mattered in the sense of he had to cut. He had to be stressed. He's cleared. So we wanted every rep that he got to be, maybe this is a bad analogy, but a high leverage rep. We didn't want him out there, just blocking or, taking a rep that didn't force him to put his foot in the ground and accelerate.
And he held up and was great against USC, and then it all came crashing down on Wednesday. A lot of people have asked about a 7th season. He could certainly appeal for a 7th season if he wanted to. I don't know that John Emery wants to do that after back-to-back torn ACLs. He'll have to make that decision. I just feel so badly for him. On a secondary level, we have to talk about the LSU running back position at this point because now you're down to 3 scholarship backs. You're down to Josh Williams, Caleb Jackson, and then the true freshman Caden Durham. That's it. Remember a year ago you had 8. Remember, like, the question for Brian Kelly all throughout fall camp at the beginning of the year last year was, man, what do you do with 8 running backs? And Kelly's point consistently was the cream usually rises and it figures itself out, and it did. It did last year. Logan Diggs ended up being your guy. Mostly. You had Josh Williams there as well. John Emery played a role. You guys had their role. But now you're down to 3. And you are paper thin at this point. There's still the possibility you could get Trey Holly back. Of course, Trey Holly, Louisiana High School's all-time leading rusher, still going through his legal situation. Back in July at Media Days, Brian Kelly thought they'd be at resolution. There was a continuance in that trial. And the next court date is set for mid-September, so in the middle of this month. Look, you shouldn't need to go too deep into your depth, I guess, over the next 4 weeks. but the gauntlet is coming in October and in November. And you would love to have Trey Holly back. I understand this conversation right now is about John Emery, and I feel terribly for him. But an adjacent part of this conversation certainly is how dangerously thin LSU is now at running back and how desperately they need Trey Holly and that legal situation to get rectified so he can rejoin this football team. And I'm certainly hoping that's the case at some point this year because, boy, you were a twisted knee, a turned ankle, a knock on the noggin away from relying on walk-ons now for reps. John Emery, season done after just one game, torn ACL. All right, our show open every day is brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy in Louisiana with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of the LSU Tigers, the official beer of the New Orleans Saints, and the official beer of AFR. Make sure you check out the aluminum cans and bottles with the LSU logo on them, available at retailers all over the state. So be sure to check out Bud Light. And, of course, love it, man. 100 years, a million cheers. You'll see the new 100 Years logo everywhere, all over the 100 Years of Tiger Stadium logo all over the Bud Light properties as well, so make sure you check it out. Be on the lookout for those T-shirts as well. They're pretty awesome. I'll be giving them away out at campus this weekend and throughout the course of the year. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light. Okay, LSU is going to welcome Nichols into Tiger Stadium this weekend. Head coach of the Colonels, Tim Rebow, in 15 minutes from right now. When we come back, though, Saints injury report for Week 1 is out. We'll run through it. It's AFR.
AFR.
Get Gordon and get it done. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. If you've been injured in an accident, it's not your fault. You know what to do. Do what injured people in our state have done for 3 decades. Get Gordon and get it done. 2 promotions currently going on right now. Of course, the Design Gordon's Next Billboard promotion. So go to getgordon.com/billboards, getgordon.com/billboards, and you can see all the info. Design Gordon's Next Billboard. If you're chosen, your design is chosen, you can win up to $2,000 in prizes and see your design on one of Gordon's billboards. So check it out at getgordon.com/billboards. Also, getgordon.com/guest. There's a billboard in Baton Rouge. It's on I-110 if you're heading north toward the airport. It's on the right. August 28th, 2013. It's just a black billboard, white lettering. August 28th, 2013. You got to guess the significance of that date. 8 winners are going to get prizes from Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. Get Gordon. Get it done.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, Our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs, even in the case of an after-hours emergency. The light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial properties. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all you can eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Forgot about the beginning.
Are you going to laugh at that every break again to this week? It was literally every rejoin last Wednesday.
Even when I tried not to, I still did.
Yeah. You did. You failed every time.
I think I succeeded.
Yeah.
I'm a glass half full guy, Muse. You're a glass half empty guy.
That's not true.
That's how I perceive this conversation right now. You call laughing failing. I call that succeeding in life. Should we all just laugh a little more, Muse?
I mean, of course we all should, but
I'll just laugh at you about an hour from right now. And it'll be your time, Muse. It'll be your time in exactly 1 hour.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you do.
Nope.
Panama Red.
Panama Red.
Hey,
well, yeah, Puff was just the name of the boy's Magic Dragon. That's all it was.
That's pretty high. That's what you would, Panama Red.
That's so good. God, it's the best.
Oh, you didn't know Danny was talking?
Yeah. Lil' Kim, she's fat. PH fat.
He just says PH.
Yeah.
Oh, man. That's from Meet the Parents, for those that don't know. As we've explained several times over the course of the life of this show, there's a handful of movies where if at any point you name any obscure line from any of this handful of movies, Muse will laugh. It's an involuntary response, almost like sneezing, breathing, blinking,
yawning.
Muse will just laugh. That's just is a yawning involuntary?
I think so.
I think you can make yourself. Well, I guess you can make yourself. You can make yourself yawn, just like you can make yourself blink, or you can make yourself. I
didn't know you could make yourself yawn.
If you kind of like work your jaw and inhale a little bit, I think yawning is a lack of oxygen to the brain. When you have a lack of oxygen to the brain, you yawn to force oxygen into your brain. Yeah. Like it's a life-saving response, right? I mean, we all die from the same thing, which is a lack of oxygen to the brain. So yawning is like trying to save your life effectively if you have a lack of oxygen. So if you get tired, you're sleepy, whatever, you're lethargic, that's what pumps oxygen in your brain. But it's weird though, because when you watch someone else yawn,
contagious.
Then you yawn.
Yes.
So that's weird though, because I could be in a perfectly fine state, but then if you yawn, I'm gonna yawn.
Yeah. It's like I need some oxygen all of a sudden.
Try to make yourself yawn.
I was just trying to, and you're doing it.
Can't see.
It's not working for me. I don't know. Is that real? I can't tell if that's real. That doesn't look real at all.
I got one on the back end of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It wasn't initially, but when you took the deep breaths, and I got one on the back end. Boy.
Yeah.
How about the start to this show?
That was something there, wasn't it?
Saints-Panthers injury report is out. Week 1, Sunday at the Dome, noon Central. Boy, the Saints injury report last year was just always flooded. And not a great start here. Pete Werner listed on the injury report with a shoulder injury, but was a full participant. That's good news. Remember, generally speaking, if you're a DNP on Friday, boy, it is hard to imagine getting on the field Sunday. You at least want to be limited by the time you get to Friday. So this is the first one. And there were 4 DNPs. We'll get to that. But Pete Werner was a full participant with a shoulder injury. Willie Gay, limited with a back injury. But the good news is that Willie Gay was back at practice after missing earlier in the week. Marshawn Lattimore, limited with the hip injury. Nick Saldiveri, limited with the calf injury. So good news there with Gay, Lattimore, and Saldiveri all at practice. Limited, but at practice. What you want to see as a reminder is a progression as the week goes along. maybe limited on Wednesday, limited on Thursday, full on Friday. That's really what you would like to see as a progression. You just limit these guys during the week, you limit their workload and have them full go by Friday, and then hopefully they're ready to go by Sunday. The 4 players that did not participate, Jalen Ford with a hamstring injury, tight end Dallin Holker with an ankle, DeMarco Jackson and Colin Saunders each with a calf injury. We know Colin Saunders is going to miss several weeks with that calf injury he suffered earlier in camp. So we'll keep an eye on those 4. Saunders certainly is the most significant because that's a starter on the interior of your defensive line. However, of course, with Brian Brzee taking what feels like a pretty significant step so far in year 2 in this training camp, feels like look, it's never a good thing to lose a starter on either line of scrimmage. That's obvious, or anywhere. But having Brzee step up is good. The problem there then becomes the trickle-down effect and losing a depth piece there where Brzee was part of your rotation. Now Saunders not there. I'll be very interested to see if Nick Saldiveri is available to go. Obviously, Pete Werner, Willie Gay, Marshawn Lattimore, starting caliber players. Werner, Gay, depending on what defensive front they're showing, but DeMario Davis, Pete Werner, Willie Gay are going to be a 3-man rotation at linebacker. We want to see Marshawn Lattimore start at cornerback, and obviously we'll keep an eye on Kool-Aid McKinstry and that injury. But I'm curious what they do at left guard. If Saldiveri is able to go, is he your guy there? Or is Lucas Patrick the guy that continues to play at left guard, the veteran who seemed to, at point in camp, lock down that spot? Dennis Allen met with reporters after practice today. He did talk about the importance of getting Willie Gay back at practice on Wednesday.
Yeah, good. Willie's going to be an important part of what we do and brings a lot of energy to the team and the defense. And so it was good to get him back out there. He was limited today, but it was good to get him back out there and working.
So for the Carolina Panthers, by the way, their injury report was not nearly as extensive as the New Orleans Saints, but there were 4 names on it. Yusa Nijman, their tackle, was limited, as was running back Miles Sanders with a finger injury, but they expect him to be able to go. 2 players were out, Ian Thomas and Tommy Tremble, a couple of tight ends. Neither participated on Wednesday, so we'll keep an eye. But just as a comparison, the Saints had 8 players on their injury report. Carolina had half that number. So the Saints, not an exceptionally healthy team right now. You couple that with Kendre Miller, who's on IR, the injury to Kool-Aid McKinstry. This is a team that, at the start of camp, as we remember, just suffered injuries like every single day at the start of camp. So here's hoping they get closer to health and can be full go. But even with these injuries, Saints still a 4.5-point favorite over Carolina in Vegas as they get closer to Sunday in the opener, year 3 under Dennis Allen. All right, we're brought to you by First South Farm Credit. Thinking of buying land? First South Farm Credit should be your first call. Go to firstsouthland.com, firstsouthland.com. I love telling you about the patronage refund. If you've ever borrowed money, credit card, home equity line of credit, whatever it may be, how many times has the lender ever written you a check? At First South Farm Credit, that's happened 30 years in a row. This year, $25.5 million they paid back to their borrowers. It effectively lowers your cost of borrowing. They're a cooperative, and they share their profits with their borrowers. It's First South Farm Credit. FirstSouthLand.com, FirstSouthLand.com. They help Louisianians buy land. No matter where you are in this state, our friends at First South Farm Credit can help you buy that recreational property, the land to build your family's dream home. Your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. Go to FirstSouthLand.com. Okay, y'all. Taylor Calandro, Little Bourbon Dictionary in about 15 minutes from right now. Nicholls head coach Tim Rebow when we come back. Brian Kelly was on the SEC coaches teleconference today as well and went into a lot. An increased workload for Zy Alexander. Some of the young players you might expect to see play this weekend against Nicholls. So a lot of that we'll delve into coming up here in about 30 minutes. But when we return, the head coach of the Colonels joins us, Tim Rebow, on AFR next.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by the Watermark Hotel and the Renaissance Hotel. Watermark downtown, Renaissance Southtown. course, Watermark, the original high-rise building, the old Louisiana National Bank building in downtown Baton Rouge. Great opportunity to get by. You want to have a cocktail at their lobby bar. Great spot to people watch the pedestrian traffic right there on 3rd Street. Of course, we tell you all the time about the Gregory, the restaurant right there in the lobby of the Watermark Hotel. Great spot for a Sunday brunch. If you love doing brunch, make sure you try the Gregory at the Watermark Hotel. But it's not just the Watermark downtown. It's the Renaissance Southtown, right there on Bluebonnet, across from Perkins Row and the mall. You know where the Renaissance is. Huge, beautiful, sprawling hotel, a one-of-one, and an awesome spot to host any event. Of course, the Renaissance hosts the LSU football program. The entire team, support staff, everyone there the night before home games. They'll be there this Friday down on Bluebonnet at the Renaissance Hotel.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has back-to-school savings like $16,000 off 25 Ram 1500 trucks. We're open for business in our beautiful new showroom and taking $16,000 off. All new Bayou vehicles come with a complimentary extended warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
There's nothing chill about a hot, sweaty line. Unless you add Mountain Cold Refreshment. Coors Light. Choose chill.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly.
The Review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all you can eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Nicholls head coach Tim Rebow, 10th season down the bayou. Good enough to join us for a couple of minutes here. 3-time conference champion, including in 2023. Coach, it's always a pleasure. Thanks so much for a few minutes. How are you?
Hey, doing well, Matt. Thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it.
It's our pleasure. We appreciate you making time, especially on a game week. You know what I love? I was looking at your roster today. It looks like a Louisiana all-star team. You know what I mean? Brother Martin, Dutchtown, Destrehan, Curtis, Catholic, Hannon. You know what I mean? It's just like you were just – it's such a feeder in the state. How big of an advantage is the dirt, is this state for your program?
It's huge. You know, I was just discussing the other day, going back into the 90s when I was here as an assistant, I said, everybody used to come into the state of Louisiana to recruit because it's such a hotbed in South Louisiana. And we were going out of state to get kids. I said, something's wrong with this picture, you know? So if I had a chance to do it, I said, I'm going to try to recruit locally and see if we can get some good players. And you know how many they have right here. And it doesn't pay for us to go to Houston and get a third, fourth, fifth best player over there when we got them right here in our backyard. And, you know, we hit some home runs with some of these players who might have been an inch too short, a step too slow, but really good football players. Develop them. And look, you know that too. They're going to stay here. And then when they're done playing, they're coming back here. So that's what makes it so sweet.
I mean, a lot of those names we know. Guggenheim, Spears. Well, if you're a Louisiana high school football fan, you know a lot of these names. And it was so interesting. Like, your roster is loaded. I mean, you get 12 preseason first-team all-conference players. Is it fair to say that this is, at least in the preseason, depth, veteran leadership experience, is this your best team?
It might be the best. We were talking about it the other day, too. Might be one of the best defensive teams we've had since we've been here. And we've had some marquee players, say across the defensive line with Sully Lesh and linebackers Alan Pittman, but, not as many. We're deep across the line, linebackers, depth in the secondary. We can really run. I really like our defense. And probably not, we got some skill guys, but not as loaded on the offensive line as we are on the other side of the ball.
Tim Rebow is our guest here. Where, when you're building your roster, I'll talk about the game here in a second, but I would love to ask also just your approach with everything with the portal. How has that impacted the way you recruit your roster?
It really hasn't, because we've always been recruit local, recruit high schools. We build those relationships with the coaches and with the kids and try to get them to come here. And now even more so, we're going to do it because I think in today, the big guys, bigger than us, they're not recruiting the high school athletes as much. They're going to go get them a guy maybe from UL to go to LSU because they can build some depth, a guy that has 2 or 3 years of college experience rather than get a high school guy. So we've always recruited the high schoolers, and even more so now.
Do you worry about, I don't know if worry is the right word, but about your roster getting plucked, pillaged, guys
yeah,
leaving?
I think you have to. I think you have to worry about it. But I'm not going to lose sleep over it because I figure like this. Jalen Spears from Brother Martin, Conference Player of the Year last year. If somebody comes get him after this year, look, he's given us 2 really good years, meaning we're doing something right and winning some football games, Yeah. So we have to just keep developing. But, we're not the only ones. I think everybody's a junior college now in college because if somebody's going to always have a little bigger bag, maybe to say to get some of these guys.
Tim Rebow is with us, Nicholls head coach in his 10th season as the head coach. Of course, as he mentioned, a previous stint there before also going to Monroe and Lafayette. By the way, you've got experience in Tiger Stadium. You tell me if I'm wrong. 03 ULM, 06 and 09 with the Cajuns. Those 3 experiences in Tiger Stadium. I'm not sure if there was another. Anything stand out from making a visit as an in-state opponent to Baton Rouge?
No, listen. Great venue, great place to play. I do think this. It's not like I was at the University of Alabama and the Crimson Tide is coming into Tiger Stadium. It's not A&M coming into there when we came in, and it's going to be the same thing this weekend. It's going to be loud. They're going to be getting on us, But when you have the first kickoff and you go down there and you make that first hit, I think some of that's going to wear off, and I don't know if they're going to be as loud. Well, I shouldn't say that. I don't know if they can be as loud as they would be. hey, we get down in the south end zone. Who knows, huh?
Yeah, man. It sounds like you've been down that south end zone a few times.
Yeah.
You know what? But I was also looking because oftentimes we know like smaller programs rely on these games for the financial implication. We know all that. But you haven't really made it a habit of doing this. You played TCU last year, but prior to that, I think it was 3 years you went without playing a Power 5. Of course, we remember you beat Kansas back in 2018, but it hasn't been as common. So what is your scheduling thought philosophy when it comes to games like this against one of the Power 4, Power 5, whatever you want to call it?
I really wish we could play just one game on the road against one big team. The experience, develop our players, and it's going to help us down the road. When you got to play, last year we did. We played TCU and we played Tulane. We've played some before. We played Texas A&M. We played South Alabama. We played those schools. So I like it for our guys. I like it for us to travel a little bit. I really like what we did this year, playing 2 in-state opponents right away. I think it's good for our program. They're familiar with the schools. You get a lot of publicity, like this week we're getting, for our program. And then for us, going the payday to go to Baton Rouge, where, we're making it a day trip, Matt. We're going on Saturday, so you don't have a flight. You don't have to pay hotels. You don't have all the expenses, so it can help you program.
Does it mean more for your guys to be able to play, that it is LSU and not just a power program? You played A&M, Georgia, Colorado. You've gone all over. Does it mean more that it is LSU?
Absolutely. Look, you said we have 90-something. I think we got like 93 players from Louisiana. Well, of course they all grew up, I think the majority, LSU, wanting to play in Tiger Stadium. They know what it is. So to get a chance to go back to play the flagship school, the state school, right here in the backyard, I think it's going to be exciting for them. And you know what it's going to do to all the parents, all the people working up and down the river, all the stuff that's been going on, all the tailgating. I think it's a win-win situation for us.
Tim Rebow's with us for a couple more minutes. Of course, 3-time conference champion there at Nichols, done an amazing job in his decade on the Bayou. So you mentioned playing 2 in-state schools. For those who don't know, Nichols opened last week against Louisiana Tech in a really good ball game. Did you learn anything about your team last week?
Yeah, I learned how hard we played, the effort, again, the no quit, the fight that they have in them. I know we can really run on defense, can really get after it a little bit, and I do think we're going to be okay on offense. Sometimes you go to a game and you come out and say, I don't know, I'm not sure. I think we're going to be all right. We'll be able to move the ball. Now, the thing is, too, we're going to be able to show some improvement this week, the old saying from week 1 to week 2, but it just might not show up because of the opponent that you're playing.
Sure. What are the biggest challenges as you game plan for LSU that you and your staff face?
They're so big and athletic. They're so strong up front on the defensive and offensive lines. I worry about that. I think in these type of games, that's where the difference is. Look, we have some skilled players. They have tremendous skilled players. But I think it's up front, and I worry about that, trying to line up if they just want to just take it and pound the ball right down your throat, or, us trying to be able to run the football a little bit. So that's going to be a big challenge for us.
Coach, as I don't mean to look too far ahead, but obviously there's a lot of people in the state who regardless if they're LSU fans, whether you cheer for the Colonels, you cheer for the in-state schools. When you think about what's ahead for the season after you get past this non-conference part, what excites you about your team when you get into Southland Conference play?
I do know Southland Conference play has gotten so much better over the years that, it's the same thing. It's a different scale, but anybody can beat anybody week in and week out. But we have a lot of experience, and we have experience that I like, which doesn't always translate. But, we got off to a rough start last year, and they resilient and bounced back and said, hey, we're getting a conference. We know we can be a good football team. So we just got to continue to do the little things to improve, the little execution things that we can do, the communication things that we can do to get better each week. And hopefully by week 5 and 6, when we get into conference play, we'll be starting to play some really good football.
Yeah, October 12th, Nichols at Incarnate Word is when everyone's going to have circled. That's one that will certainly have big-time conference implications. Coach?
Yeah, Matt,
Yep,
Matt,
please.
you know what else, too? October the 5th, we come back to Baton Rouge.
Yeah, play Southern. Yeah.
Yeah, play Southern. And then that's been a rival for a long time. That's been off the books. They kind of got back on.
Your day trips are good. That's a heady play there, Coach. I mean, I like it a lot. I like getting to play the in-state schools as well. Of course, you play Northwestern and McNeese in conference, but
right.
It'll be a heck of a slate. We'll always pulling for you, Coach. Can't thank you enough for a couple of minutes today. Best of luck to you and your team this weekend and throughout the year.
Thanks, Matt. I appreciate you, man.
That's our pleasure. It's Coach Tim Rebow of the Colonels. I mean, it's pretty incredible what he has done there. Mike Detillier, of course, who's good friends with Tim and with Coach Rebow, who Mike's. I mean, y'all know I love Mike Detillier. He came on our show every year, every week for a decade. And Mike has talked so openly about that. That was a program that had struggled for a long time. T-Bob's brother, Bo, played at Nichols, played on some not awesome teams. But man, Tim Rebow went in there who had the experience of having been there as an assistant and was in the state, was at Monroe, as we mentioned, was in Lafayette with the Cajuns, and then went back to Nichols as the head coach now in his 10th season. But it's not hard to see what he did that's worked so well. Go look at their roster. It's Curtis and Destrehan and Carr and Catholic. It's just, he just recruits all the kids from Louisiana that aren't getting LSU or Tulane, those types of offers, like the ones that just missed, maybe an inch too short, 10 pounds too light to go FBS. But he gets these dudes that are really good players, and he develops them, and he's a great coach, and they win. So I pull for it, man. I tell you all the time, man. I love root for the state schools, man. I always want them to do well. It's a different thing in Louisiana because there isn't another Power 5 to Power 4 program. But Tim Rebow's did an awesome job. We appreciate him for taking a couple of minutes with us here. Okay, let me knock out a quick break. Hump Day shows brought to you by Pluckers. We'll come back. Taylor Calandro will be here. Get your booze questions in for Bourbon Dictionary. It's AFR.
AFR.
Man, I was telling this story earlier today. I was at lunch with some clients and brought up, we were talking about contractors. Now, sometimes contractors can get a bad reputation and why it's so important to find reputable people. It's one of the reasons I love telling you about Duplessis Builders. So I was telling Derek's story. So Derek Duplessis went to LSU, mechanical engineering, minor in aerospace engineering, was working in the plants, didn't necessarily love working as an engineer. His sister was going to build a pool. He said, I think I can do it. Built her pool that first year, built 8 more. The next year, 68. And all of a sudden, Duplessis Builders is one of the fastest growing pool companies in the entire state of Louisiana. So it's the quality that sets them apart. A lot of people can build beautiful pools. But with his engineering background, Derek doesn't ever cut corners. So that's why he can offer a 10-year workmanship warranty. Go see their beautiful showroom on Airline Highway in Gonzales or online, duplessisbuilders.net.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps are held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials, and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
There's nothing chill about a hot, sweaty line. Unless...
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all you can eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird. They're the gang with the slang.
Keep it 100. I don't know what you're talking about.
This is Bourbon Dictionary with Matt Moscona and Taylor Calandro.
I don't understand.
What happened to Taylor Calandro?
We fixed it.
Ah, we should have kept it.
Well, I still have it. We can bring it back.
The new imaging last week said Taylor Calandro. Anyway, we fixed it. Taylor, how are you, dude?
Good. How you doing, Matt?
Awesome. Let's just get right to questions so that guy doesn't text me and get all angry. What's new?
So I'm going to talk about some cigars today. You're more familiar with cigars than I am, probably, but have you ever heard of Bocock Brothers cigars?
Of course I have. Local brand, and they did an amazing collab last year for the LSU 20-year anniversary of the 2003 national champions. And so they had a special cigar with a special wrapper that they gave out to all of the members of the 03 championship team. Very cool concept.
Yeah, and I think they did like a Heisman gift box for the
yes.
They've done a few different things, but we just got their new line of LSU stuff. For one of the boxes is for the 100-year centennial of Tiger Stadium this year. The box is beautiful. I sent you a picture yesterday. But there's a few different types of cigars. They're all LSU branded. They're really cool. They're officially licensed too. So if you're into cigars, we got them. They're in between like $10 and $15 each. The centennials are $15 each. So
they've got if you go to their Twitter, their social media, they have a video up. It's kind of like a montage of 100 years of Tiger Stadium, and then it's sort of a promotion for that box of cigars. I'm pretty sure, Taylor, they also will have them in some capacity at Don Juan while T-Bob and I are there for whiskey and wine. But good to know that y'all have them as well.
Yeah, they should be available like in all the local cigar shops too. So just not, Don Juan and wherever else.
Yeah, I don't know quantity, how much they'll have, but that's good to know that y'all have them as well. So they'll be over there.
It's not a large quantity because all we got is a case to start with. I think we might be able to get one more, but it's not a large quantity, so they're not going to be around for a long time.
It's really cool. And, I love supporting local brands, especially when there's local brands that put out a good product. And I have not had one of Bocock's cigars yet. I am excited to and would love to try it, and especially just from the collectability of the 100-year of Tiger Stadium wrapper, the officially licensed, the box. That in and of itself is a collectible, which is really cool. So
and if anybody wants to go read their website, they have a cool story about the family. They have a ton of LSU ties, and I think they're part of the NIL at LSU too. So
very cool, very cool.
Yeah.
All right, anything new on the booze side of things? We got to be getting close to whiskey season.
Yeah, I was going to tell you something last week, and I just didn't get a chance to. We have one bottle left of. We had a few last week, but it's Remus, and it's the Babe Ruth edition.
Okay.
It's a blend of 3 different bourbons. They made 10,000 and change bottles for the amount of that batch that Babe Ruth had. It's $200. I was reading about it. The whiskey's it seems like it's fairly young. I think it's more of a novelty thing, but I figured somebody that's into Babe Ruth and the Yankees would be into that.
That is really cool. I'll have to come check it out.
Yeah.
All right, here's a question from John. Remember, you can get your questions in for Taylor. Email us, tweet us, or text us. You can text 225-396-4400. 396-4400, 396-4400. Ask Taylor, do you have any Eagle Rare?
I might be getting some at the end of the week.
Okay.
Check at the end of the week. That's a good question, actually.
So I was down at the Sazerac House in New Orleans a few weeks ago, and I think I mentioned, took my grandfather, me and my brother, two cousins. We took my grandfather, who's almost 92, went down, had lunch at, where did we go? We went to Arno's. Had lunch at Arno's, and then did Sazerac House. And depending on the day, Sazerac House does sell some allocated whiskeys in their shop. In the day we were there, they had Eagle Rare the day we were there. So sometimes you get lucky if you're down there as well.
I found Eagle Rare on the Strip for $200 a bottle.
Oh, jeez. I mean, that's just ridiculous. For those who don't know, Eagle Rare would retail around $30.
40, yeah, 35, 40 bucks.
Yeah, $40.
But it's 200 on the Las Vegas Strip.
Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous. Greg Lehman asked Taylor, what's an area Calandro's is exploring to grow revenue? It's an interesting
Cigars, man.
Yeah, there you go.
There's a lot of money in tobacco, and I've kind of started getting into them a little bit. So I'm trying to grow the cigar selection. There's good money in tobacco.
Christian Lewis asked Taylor, is Baumburger Declaration Straight Bourbon a bottle worth buying at $250?
I love Baumburgers. I love Baumburgers and Shanks. They're both Michter's products. I'm not going to tell you no. It's really good.
Roy Dupuy asked Taylor, Beaujolais Nouveau is released by the French government on the third Thursday in November. When will you get this year's release, please?
It's generally right before Thanksgiving. So, and we only get one, maybe two different ones. And if nobody's familiar with it, it's just like they harvest the grapes and basically instead of aging it at all, they just go straight into a bottle. It's the new harvest wine, but it's a Thanksgiving thing, and I do not like it at all. It's like drinking grape juice, but a lot of people do. It's weird, but not for me.
I was gifted a bottle a few years back, and I had a similar experience, but that's probably just because my palate is trained a certain way. Taylor Calandro, Bourbon Dictionary over at Calandro's, joins us here on Whiskey Wednesdays. We appreciate it, man. It sounds like your voice is struggling from Vegas. Get better.
Yeah, this is from the game, so I did my part. I just want everybody to know that still. So
it didn't work.
Yeah,
right.
No, it didn't work.
All right, we got to go. We'll see you. That's Taylor Calandro, Sports Center.
AFR.
Brought to you by South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com. Traveled to Vegas. Mr. Bob Grace from over at South Point Volkswagen was on our travel trip as well. Great to see him. Spend some time there. Just genuinely good people. I love my friends over at South Point. Of course, tell you all for years about Kelly over there. Has been just a great friend of mine. And you know, we've gone through the process of buying and leasing cars. Golly, I'd legitimately have to sit down and think about how many cars we bought and leased from South Point because we're a Volkswagen family. That's all we've driven since I've started endorsing South Point Volkswagen. I love the style, the feel, the performance of luxury. You get great value with a Volkswagen, the great gas mileage, the great German engineering, manufactured right here in the U.S. of A. And it took on even greater meaning with all the IIHS top safety picks whenever Drew came along. I'm a Volkswagen guy. We're a Volkswagen family. You should be as well. South Point Volkswagen.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial properties. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Positive sign for the Bengals today. Receiver Jamar Chase, a limited participant in the first official practice of game week ahead of Sunday's season opener against the Patriots. He was a hold-in during training camp amid a contract stalemate. Bills safety Damar Hamlin will start Sunday against Arizona, his first start since going into cardiac arrest during a game in January 2023. Denver named quarterback Bo Nix a team captain, first Broncos rookie captain since 1967. He fits in well with the offense coach Sean Payton wants to run in Denver, notes former Saints quarterback Drew Brees.
I think here's a guy who started 60 games in college, has a wealth of experience. I know just from knowing Sean, I think he loves his ability to process the game, the way that he's picked up this offense, his ability to find completions, and just manage that offense the way that Sean wants it to be managed.
Drew Brees on Carlin versus Joe. LSU running back John Emery Jr. will miss the rest of the season with a torn ACL sustained at practice yesterday. With Emery out, Tigers will rely heavily on Caleb Jackson and Josh Williams.
Why pay more for a great shave? Choose Barbasol, America's #1 brand of shaving cream. Barbasol's thick and rich lather gives you a close, comfortable shave for just half the price of gels. Barbasol.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
Let's ride! Go!
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
You sure. And Mr. Toby Tomplin. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there, make it a good one. Alex Zietlow covers the Panthers for the Charlotte Observer. He's here in 15 minutes. Russ Mitchell next hour. Thanks to Tim Rebow, who was here just a bit ago. Nichols coming into Tiger Stadium this weekend. Always great to visit with Coach Rebow. Great dude's done an awesome job there. We appreciate him taking some time to be with us. Brian Kelly was on the SEC Coaches Teleconference on Wednesday. If you're just joining the John Emery news, John Emery has a torn ACL. He's done for the season. That news had not broken when Brian Kelly was on the teleconference, so he was not asked about that. In spite of that, however, Brian Kelly did say that so far the team has responded well to that loss Sunday against USC as they move here into week 2 with Nichols coming in.
I was proud of our guys. I mean, it's a short week, right? I mean, we were out there in full gear, 96 degrees, going at it hard on what would normally be an off day for us. And they had the right mindset, the right attitude to go out there and compete. Everybody was tired. Everybody was sore. We didn't get home until Monday at 5 a.m. So I was proud of the way our guys went at it. And they'll be back at it today in the same fashion.
So a quick turnaround. Certainly the disadvantage of playing on Sunday, but it's also why you schedule the FCS opponent on the short week. And I think we're all anticipating this game to go a certain way. To say that LSU, a physically superior team, should win this game with ease, and you should have the opportunity to get your backups in the game or get your starters out. Someone asked me this morning, hey, what are you hoping to see against Nichols? I am hoping to see LSU starters get out of the game as quickly as possible with ACLs intact and get as many young guys into the game to get experience. And I think Brian Kelly is, in some respect, thinking the same thing. And he said specifically at safety, you're probably going to see a bit of a rotation and a youth movement there.
I think at the safety position, we're looking at Kylan, Deshaun Spears to definitely get a good amount of work. Jordan's nursing a bit of a deep thigh contusion as well, but can't play the first half. Jordan's got a bit of a turf toe as well, so he's cleared to play, and he practiced yesterday. So, right now, a 3-man kind of rotation there at the safety position. So, yeah, you can expect to see a lot of work from those 2 younger players.
To be very clear, and Brian Kelly mentioned it, Jordan Gilbert drew the targeting penalty at the end of the ball game, so he can't play for the first half anyway. So when Gilbert went out, it was Deshaun Spears, the freshman from Denham Springs, who went in. If you go watch the game-winning touchdown by Woody Marks, the player contacting him at the goal line was Deshaun Spears, the freshman wearing number 10, who I think is going to be a very good player. I've told you this. He looks the part physically, looks like they're supposed to look. He's just a freshman who's now stepping on the field. I worry much less about a freshman stepping on the field week 2 against an FCS opponent than the first game of his career against Southern Cal in Las Vegas on that stage. But yes, I'm very excited to see how Deshaun Spears may play this week. And if Jordan Gilbert has a contusion, a thigh contusion, as Brian Kelly said there, and he's already going to miss the first half, the hope is the second half ain't competitive. You're emptying the bench anyway, and you don't need to play Jordan Gilbert. You heard him say there, Jordan Allen, your other starting safety. A little bit of a toe injury. He's got a toe. So hopefully you don't need him either. You can play Kylan Jackson back there and Deshaun Spears. And you got 2 young safeties and see how that goes. Listen, look at the participation report of this game anyway. And it becomes pretty apparent how many guys defensively LSU was playing. And that was evident all throughout fall camp, where, all throughout fall camp, you just saw this dramatic rotation of players, not only on the defensive side of the ball, but also in special teams. And it was guys like Jordan Allen, like Kylan Jackson, Deshaun Spears, Juwan Johnson at the star. We saw Kylan Jackson playing the star as well. You saw a 4-man rotation at linebacker. Devon Keys, the freshman, was next up there. I mean, I don't think this is a defense, as we've talked about, that is littered with All-Americans, but it's a defense that has a lot of talented players, some of them young, and the way you're going to try to win is by rotating fresh bodies and being effective in that way. And you saw a lot of that. Now, it's also interesting to look, staying in the secondary, Brian Kelly talked about this as well, at the cornerback position. Let's start with an update on Zy Alexander. We've talked about it plenty. Zy was your best cornerback last year. By the way, speaking of the importance of staying healthy in one of these games, it was the last play of the first half against Army that Zy Alexander tore his ACL last year. So, yes, I want guys to stay healthy first and foremost. And Zy Alexander, who has been cleared and been a full participant, though they've still been ramping him up, and Brian Kelly says expect to see that accelerated this week.
Yeah, I think he's made really good progress. I think what you'll see is his workload as it relates to plays will increase dramatically over the next 4 weeks, and it will start this week on special teams, and then will continue then to pick up at the corner position.
So the next 4 weeks, connect the dots. Nichols, South Carolina, UCLA, South Alabama. Then you go into your open date before you play Ole Miss. It's the thing we laid out on Tuesday when we came back from Las Vegas, which is, as much as that loss sucks, and it sucks, the Ole Miss game remains the biggest game on your schedule. Use the next 4 weeks where you are playing dramatically inferior opponents to get better, to get healthy, to win 4 games, and to go into your open date before you host Ole Miss to be ready to win that game. And Zy Alexander being healthy would be a huge component of that because he was your best cornerback a year ago, and he might be still your best cornerback on this team when he's 100%. You got to get him there. In the meantime, Brian Kelly gave a couple of other names to keep an eye on out on the boundary.
The next level players for us become J.K. Johnson and Jair Brown. They have to continue to develop. And that's really where the cornerback room starts and ends, with Alexander, with Stamps, Woodland, the flexibility of Sage, and then Johnson and Brown. That's your cornerback room now, and that's most likely what your cornerback room is going to look like throughout the entire season.
For what it's worth, Jair Brown is the guy we saw in the field at the starting nickel spot. So throughout fall camp, whenever they went nickel, a fifth defensive back on the field, that was Jair Brown. We saw P.J. Woodland play some nickel. Woodland also replaced Sage Ryan on Saturday as well. They picked on him a couple times. Saw he had a PI, and then they went right back at him the next play, and he had a pass breakup on a play where he was beaten. But it's pretty evident who the guys are they count on. Now it's about using this next month to get them all more experience and more comfortability in this defense, getting ready for what's coming again on October the 12th in Baton Rouge with Ole Miss. It's all about that right now, and this is a good opportunity to get a lot of young guys work with Nichols coming in. All right, it's After Further Review brought to you by Parrish Construction and Roofing, parrishbuilt.com, parrishbuilt.com. Y'all, honest to goodness, true story. I tell y'all all the time about door knockers. Got a call this morning from a buddy. This is, I mean, hand to the sky, cross my heart, true story. Driving Drew to school this morning, a buddy calls me. He said, hey, got an issue. My mother-in-law, who lives in Shenandoah, someone came and knocked on her door. I'd never heard of the company before. They pressured her. They made her sign a contract about fixing the roof, this and that. Finally, my friend stepped in, called this company. They're not licensed contractors. They're unlicensed and also not insured. So we now, Parrish, are trying to unwind that, and we're gonna do it. We're gonna help, but it's the thing that I try to hammer home so much. Why would you do business ever with someone who's gonna knock on your door, make you feel uncomfortable, pressure sell you into a contract? And by the way, who's at home during the day usually? Maybe retired folks that they're preying on people. I understand, y'all. Contractors in a lot of industries get bad names. But it's one of the reasons why I tell you at Parrish, we will never door knock. We're never going to come bother you at your home, ever. So if you have someone that's come and knocked on your door and said, oh, you need a roof repair, replacement, we'll file a claim, let us come be a second opinion for you. Let us come. You don't even have to be home. We'll send one of our inspectors to walk it, chalk it, mark it. If we think you need a roof repair replacement, we'll help you. We have insurance professionals on staff that can help you file a claim, help you get that approved. We're licensed. We're bonded. We're everything that you need. Told you about Fortified Roof. We're a certified fortified roofing company. You can see all of our certifications on the website. That's why I say it all the time. Do business with someone you know. That's us. That's me. That's Ryan Terrier. That's Richard Chilly. That's Trent Davis. That's Joe Morales. That's our whole team. Go to parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com. Fill out the form on the homepage. We'd love to help you out. Do business with someone you know. Parish Construction and Roofing. Go to parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com. All right, y'all. Glad to have you hanging out with us here. Russ Mitchell in 1 hour. We'll recap the weekend that was in the Southeastern Conference, and actually a pretty nice slate ahead. I know it's not a great weekend in college football, but in the SEC, Texas at Michigan. I mean, it's an SEC team now with Texas. I mean, Arkansas is playing at Oklahoma State, South Carolina at Kentucky in a conference game. Tennessee's on the road at NC State, Mississippi State on the road in the desert against Arizona State. So you do have some of those Power 5 non-conference matchups this weekend. We'll preview it with Russ again coming up an hour from right now. Let me knock out a quick break. We'll head up to Charlotte, take a closer look at the Panthers as the Saints get ready to host the Panthers in Week 1 in a divisional matchup in the Dome this Sunday. Stay here. It's AFR.
After further review.
Love telling you about River City's 1 hour air where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, that's the number, 752-0001 or 1hourbr.com. Love telling you all the time about those 5-star Google reviews. And you see so many of them. They got more than double the amount of 5-star Google reviews of the next closest competitor because for 4 decades, this is what River City's 1 hour air has done. Ashley Cavalier wrote this 5-star Google review. In such an unfortunate situation dealing with my AC, Mike really made the experience the best he could. He was thorough, patient, kind, and just overall great at what he does. Hopefully, I don't have to deal with AC or heating issues in the near future, but if I do, I definitely know who the best serviceman is to call. It's River City's 1 hour air. Look for the big yellow vans and trucks with the giant clock on the side. You see them all over town. Your friends and neighbors trust River City's 1 hour air, and so do I. Give them a buzz, 752-0001, 752-0001, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has back-to-school savings like $16,000 off 25 Ram 1500 trucks. We're open for business in our beautiful new showroom and taking $16,000 off. All new Bayou vehicles come with a complimentary extended warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. a family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart...
After Further Review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all you can eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird. Say they gon' beat them Saints. Let's head behind enemy lines to preview this week's matchup.
You know, obviously from a defensive standpoint, the defensive staff is there, and so you kind of know what the structure is going to be, and yet they got a couple of new pieces, so we don't know what adjustments, they're going to make or what's going to be different than maybe what we saw last year. Really the same thing offensively. We had a chance to go up against Canales a couple of times last year, and so I think from a schematic standpoint, we have an idea of, what the system is like, and yet with a different quarterback, I don't know, how they're going to, want to utilize him.
Dennis Allen, certainly challenges facing Carolina with a new coach, Dave Canales. Canales was in Tampa with Baker Mayfield a year ago, so some familiarity. Let's learn a little more. Alex Zietlow covers the Panthers for the Charlotte Observer. He joins us now. Alex, we appreciate it, man. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on the show.
No, it's our pleasure. So let's talk about Dave Canales. What's different so far through the first training camp with a new coach?
Oh, wow. Well, I don't want to sound cliche because I know that at this point in the year, good vibes spring eternal. Yeah. But he is a guy who will just infuse this organization he has been infusing this organization with energy, with enthusiasm, and with some optimism. I mean, the Panthers, consider this, what this fan base has gone through the past couple of years. This is year 3, and they're learning a new coach for a third straight year. So you had Matt Rule 2 years ago. You had Frank Reich this year. He didn't even make it. Or this past year, he didn't even make it a full season. And now you're having Dave Canales, this guy who, in a lot of ways, worked really hard to be an overnight success. He was this guy who had lasted in the end, was an assistant over in Seattle for over a decade, and then after what he did with Geno Smith, making him the comeback player of the year in 2022, he got an opportunity to be the offensive coordinator in Tampa Bay, and then kind of supervised a resurgent year with Baker Mayfield, and that kind of launched him onto this path of becoming a head coach. So this is his first time being a head coach with the Carolina Panthers, and he is bringing this enthusiasm. You can feel it in the building, something that you couldn't really feel a year ago with Frank Reich, who was more of a level-headed, chill guy. But to answer your question, that's what you can feel, and you can also feel a little bit of Bryce Young not feeling the weight of the world on his shoulders, which you kind of felt that a little bit last year, and I think Dave has something to do with that.
So that's obviously a great transition. Canales had reclamation projects with Geno Smith, with Baker Mayfield, and now Bryce Young. So why is it going to be different?
Well, they have provided quite a bit of data to explain why it's going to be different. Among that is Bryce Young's sole drive in the preseason, where against the Buffalo Bills, he only played in one of 3 preseason games, and that was the preseason finale against the Buffalo Bills. And he led a touchdown drive, which is something these Panthers didn't really see all that much of last year. If you remember, the Panthers' final 2 games were shutout losses, one of which featured the owner throwing a drink on someone, which caused the whole scene. But
what a moment!
Yeah, but anyway, that one touchdown pass or that one touchdown drive that Bryce put together against the Buffalo Bills, you saw a little bit of everything, and you saw a little bit of everything that Bryce Young could offer this offense and could offer this team in the future. You also saw some stuff that he didn't really do last year. Among them, there was a 4th and 3. They were kind of dwelling around midfield. It's the preseason. Canales was like, all right, let's go for it. It's 4th and 3. Bryce takes the snap out of the shotgun. Play kind of breaks down, and then you got to see Bama Bryce, the dazzling quarterback that he was in Alabama. He rolls to his right, makes extra time, and he finds Deontay Johnson along the sidelines. Deontay Johnson, by the way, a pickup for the Panthers. They traded for him, got him out of Pittsburgh, brought him to Carolina, and now he's kind of separated himself as the wide receiver 1. So just in that play alone, you can kind of see how things might be different here. You got Bryce Young, who is a bit more creative. He's like I said before, the weight of the world is kind of off his shoulders a little bit. You can kind of tell that. You can kind of tell that because of the connection that he and Dave have had. And then you also got weapons on the outside that are getting separation. You got Deontay Johnson, who's among the best route runners in the NFL at his best. Obviously, you got Adam Thielen, who had a resurgent year last year on the inside, kind of more of a slot, short yardage sort of guy. And then, of course, you got Xavier Legette, the draft pick that the Panthers have invested so much into. So that's the data that they are applying, and that's what we think is going to be different about this offense. Of course, we're not going to know until week 1.
Alex Zietlow is our guest on Twitter at AlexZietlow05. Charlotte Observer covers the Panthers. I was going to ask you about the weapons offensively. It sounds like there's some confidence that there is enough. Where is the question mark offensively on this roster?
I think it still dwells in Bryce Young. Not to talk too much about a singular player, because obviously football is a team sport. But as much as we do know about Bryce, and as much as we do know that, how much the team is confident in him and how much they are trying to elevate him at every turn, they actually a lot of the offseason moves this year have been about empowering Bryce. They have really upgraded that interior offensive line. They went out and got Robert Hunt, signed him to a $100 million deal. They got someone at the other guard spot, Damian Lewis from Seattle. They moved their best offensive lineman off Austin Corbett from the guard spot to the center. So their interior offensive line is quite good. They have tried to upgrade on the outside. Tight end position is still a little bit murky. But at the end of the day, the question mark is going to be on Bryce Young. Oh, and then, of course, in the backfield is actually relatively proven considering the rest of the offense, with Chuba Hubbard on a contract year, off of his best year in the NFL so far, looking healthy, looking good. Miles Sanders, this is kind of a prove-it year for him after getting paid last year and not playing up to his potential last year. So the backfield's good. Tight end is kind of murky with some question marks. The offensive line is a clear upgrade from before. The wide receiving core is a clear upgrade from before. The question mark is with Bryce Young. And this offense, this team, this organization will go as he goes, at least in the short-term future.
Excuse me. Alex, if you flip it over to the defensive side of the ball, this was a team that allowed nearly 25 points a game a year ago. Not much went well for Carolina. I mean, it's how you end up picking first in the draft. How much better are they defensively?
Well, it's interesting that you say that. I mean, that 25-point that stat is relevant and it's important. It does require context, I think, because this defense was actually 4th in the NFL when it comes to total defense, when it comes to total yards allowed. The points factor was largely because the offense just couldn't keep the defense off the field. The offense also committed a lot of turnovers, which, made for bad field positioning, which made for the defense eventually breaking, which made the floodgates open and stuff like this. Another important thing to remember about this defense is they had a lot of really good pass rushers, or a couple really good pass rushers on the defense a year ago, among them Brian Burns. Mm-hmm. And they never could unleash them, really. And that's a product of the fact that they were down so often, and teams were just content running the ball. I know a year ago, you can feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the Saints really kind of picked the Carolina defense apart by virtue of dipping and dunking the ball. They didn't really have to make the big, explosive, deep play. I mean, maybe they pulled off one or two. They didn't really have to because they weren't concerned about what the Panthers' offense was going to do. So at least that was the theme through a couple other games. So anyway, but the defense has been upgraded in a variety of ways. They extended Derek Brown, the record-breaking defensive tackle. They have added a couple guys who are familiar with the defensive coordinator Ejiro Evero's system. They did lose a little bit on the pass rushing side, obviously with Brian Burns going up to New York, obviously with Frankie Louvu going to the Washington Commanders, and Frankie was like the heart and soul of this team last year. They did add Jadeveon Clowney on one side of the pass rush. Evero has a 3-4 scheme, and Clowney's going to be on that right side. They don't know who's going to be on that left side. So I'm kind of rambling, but your question of how did they upgrade on defense, actually, most people in Carolina would say that they didn't necessarily get better on defense because something had to change on offense. And if you're going to that's kind of how the league works, or I guess, because if you need to upgrade on offense, that's going to come at the expense of the defense. So, I think the Saints-Panthers matchup will be compelling because, 24 new guys. There are 24 new guys on this Panthers 53-man roster.
Wow.
I mean, I know the NFL has a lot of turnover, but golly, that seems like a lot.
Well,
So,
when you're the worst team in the NFL, turning over the roster is probably a heady play. And the coaching staff as well as they've done. Hey, real quick, Alex, we're up against a break, but if the Panthers have success, or a 4-point dog in the Dome on Sunday, if they have success and win it, what does that blueprint look like?
That blueprint will be, oh goodness. That blueprint, I think, will be putting the ball. Well, firstly, it'll be avoiding turnovers. I mean, and perhaps making some, because the Saints were what, plus 11 in turnover margin last year, which is just like ridiculously good. The Panthers, meanwhile, were not as good at the turnover margin part. But the other thing on the defensive side will be forcing Derek Carr to make big plays, because that's not something that they forced him to do last year by virtue of the offense, by virtue of the whole situation last year. So if something good is going to happen for Carolina, those two things are going to happen.
Alex Zietlow, Charlotte Observer, covers the Panthers. Enjoy the game Sunday, man. Thanks for the time.
Yes, thank you.
Our pleasure. It's After Further Review. Show's brought to you by Pluckers. Of course, love telling you every day about Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Energy-efficient replacement windows, beautiful entry doors, hard-to-playing vinyl siding. They do it all over at Relief Windows, ReliefWindows.com. Oh, yeah. They do shutters as well. Got to hang out with Brandon and Adrian Holly this past weekend in Vegas. They were on that trip. Great Tiger fans, as always. Great supporters of our local community. It's hard to go to a charity event where you don't see the Relief Windows logo because they love to give back. It's just part of who they are as people. That's why I love telling you every day, not just about Relief Windows because of them installing windows, but because of the people they are. They treat you right. They offer a premium product. They're never going to be the cheapest. If you're just getting quotes to find the cheapest price, don't call them. They will not be the cheapest. They're offering a premium product. They offer you a lifetime transferable warranty on labor, material, and glass breakage. Lifetime transferable warranty on glass breakage? Nobody else does that. It's Relief Windows. Windows, door siding. Oh, yeah, they do shutters as well. Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Okay, I appreciate Alex Zietlow for a couple minutes here. Give you some perspective on the Panthers. Tim Rebow was here last hour. If you missed it, you can catch it on demand. AFR On Demand presented by Brick Golf. Russ Mitchell in about 45 minutes. We'll look back at the weekend that was in the league. We'll look ahead to week 2, coming up with some big matchups. When we come back, a couple of notes from around the conference today. And also, it was interesting. FPI did do a season simulation. They simulated the entire NFL season. You might find it interesting where they had the Saints landing. We'll talk about it next at AFR.
After further review.
Hey, we're brought to you by Action Industries. I'm going to keep reminding you here today, the rest of this week, probably next week as well. Our friends over at Action Industries, it's turnaround season, and they got a couple of month-long turnarounds coming, okay? So these are 4 to 5 week turnarounds. They need 100 to 125 people, 7/12s. So look, football season's here. You want to make that money before we get toward October and toward the holiday season as well. Here's your shot. Welders, pipe fitters, boiler makers, crane operators, I need them all. It's Action Industries. You can apply online. I'll give you the web address here in a second. Or in person at their Geismar office. That's on Highway 30 in Geismar. Go into the office, just ask for Zach if you want to apply online. And also, they've got additional work coming. They were awarded a capital project. It's a year-long job, working 5/10s. They're going to need 65 people for a full year. I'll tell you more about that as we get closer. But make sure you check it out. It's Action Industries.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs, even in the case of an after-hours emergency. The light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial properties. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all you can eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Did I just hear that bare naked ladies are coming to Baton Rouge? Where are they coming? Y'all hear that? Somebody find that for me, please. I just heard a commercial that bare naked ladies are coming here. Do y'all even know? Muse, do you even know, Paulie? Do you know who bare naked ladies are? Muse, do you know who bare naked ladies is? Paulie, you go first.
I know who they are. I didn't hear the spot.
You don't know? Do you know anything they sing? Oh man,
they sing the theme song of The Big Bang Theory.
What is that?
The Big Bang Theory was a sitcom on CBS.
I know what The Big Bang Theory is. I don't know what the song is.
Oh well,
I never saw it.
The Big Bang Theory theme song. They sing that.
Oh, it's not like one of their songs. They did.
No.
Oh wow,
No, yeah,
it's really weird that you ever hear like an original score for a theme song. Now you might have a song.
Here, I'll pull it up.
No, that's interesting. Okay, are you sure it was BNL?
Positive.
Wow, I've seen BNL a bunch, but it's been a minute. Wow. If I had $1 million, which by the way, with the benefit of hindsight now, they'd probably rewrite that song because $1 million isn't actually getting you a whole bunch. Now, like 30 years ago when they wrote that song, maybe it was 25, but when they wrote, close to 30 when they wrote that song, 30 years ago. 30 years ago. Maybe $1 million is a lot more then. What you got, Muse?
I was going to do the Big Bang
Yeah,
Theory.
okay, let me hear it, yeah. Wow.
That's them?
That is them. Wow, listen to that, Paulie. The one you probably know would be 1 week. It's been 1 week since you looked at me.
I know that song.
I'm on the air and I'm sorry. 5 days since you laughed.
It's a great song.
Just know I just thought you were going to do it. They sing it really fast.
And
Paulie, watch the hood think. You make it stop think. You look at Aquaman. So
it's the bow, by the way.
Like a solid never was a fine band. Hot like wasabi when I bust rhyme. Be lightly hand rhymes.
You hear me?
What?
They're playing at the Bow.
What?
Yeah.
When is it?
That I don't know. I didn't hear the spot, but I went back to look at the spot, and I can see it. Beau Rivage, Bare Naked Ladies.
It better not be on a football Saturday. If it's a football Saturday, I'm going to be devastated because I'm going.
Well, we can look that up too, but it's probably a football Saturday.
Not if it's... Why do you have to be so negative all the time?
Because that's what
You're such a
they're
glass
going to
half
play.
empty guy, Muse.
They're not going to play.
Why are you so glass half
else?
empty? Why are you trying to kill my dream?
I'm not.
Glass half empty?
It's not
Be
good.
glass half full.
Okay, you know what? It's going to be a Friday night before LSU beats somebody.
What if it's the Friday of an open day weekend?
It could, but that's glass full. That's not half full. I mean, you got to have some concessions for a half full glass.
No.
Yes, you do. Otherwise, the glass wouldn't be half full. It'd be full.
I prefer to have my cup overflow.
Just runneth over?
With goodness.
There you go.
All right, let's go around the SEC. I know you got to do it. All right, get the thing.
Around the SEC, bringing you the biggest news from the nation's best conference. The Florida Gators.
William is trading on the board. So William was on the board. Muse was leaning over him. And then they had to do a quick switch there. Did you know that was going to happen quickly like that?
I thought you might actually go into the Saints thing first, but there we go.
No, Muse, I'd rather make you uncomfortable over there.
Of course you would.
Billy Napier discussed the availability of Graham Mertz and a good opportunity for DJ Lagway here. Mertz recovering from a concussion. Might be an opportunity for Mertz to be back, but DJ Lagway could end up starting this weekend. Mertz was 11 of 20 for 91 yards and a pick. By the way, in Vegas, we were at the BetMGM Sportsbook, and I was sitting there with Erica, and we're like, which way do we go? Do we bet Miami or Florida? And she said, well, who are the quarterbacks? And I said, well, Florida's got a guy named Graham Mertz. And she goes, Mertz? Nah, you don't bet on a guy named Graham Mertz. I was like, she said, what's the Miami's quarterback? I said, Cam Ward. She goes, oh, we are going with him.
Turns out she was right.
She was right. Never
the Alabama Crimson Tide.
Never bet on a guy named Mertz. I let her pick the bet. She literally picked Miami because Florida's quarterback's name is Graham Mertz. Hit in a big way,
I was about to say, it worked.
Kalen DeBoer gave an update on left tackle Caden Proctor ahead of the South Florida game. He was ruled out of the opener due to injury with a shoulder injury. DeBoer said the progress being made there, but Proctor's time in the training room, they'll find out for sure if he'll get to play. Alabama had to throw Elijah Pritchett over to left tackle due to that injury. Pritchett had spent all of fall camp at right tackle.
The Ole Miss Rebels.
Ole Miss offensive lineman Jeremy James will miss time due to a hand injury suffered in week 1 against Furman. That's what you get. Scoring 73 on Furman. James had made his 50th consecutive start. 50 consecutive starts. Incredible. Rebels get to blow out Middle Tennessee this week.
Texas A&M!
And the Aggies coach, Mike Elko, provided an updated timeline for the return of Jabari Barber. Had foot surgery. Could happen this week against McNeese. Elko said he wasn't quite ready to commit, but he's progressing and could play against McNeese. Barber was one of the key offseason acquisitions out of the portal. He had spent 4 years at Troy before arriving there at Aggie Land. All right, there you have it. That is Around the SEC. Brought to you by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. LMFJ.com. LMFJ.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. with 9 locations in all, 2 in Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Lafayette, Shreveport. It's September, y'all. Gents, before you know it, the holidays will be upon us. A lot of you young buckaroos like to drop down on bended knee and pop the question around the holidays. So right now is when you're ring shopping or thinking about it. Make sure you pop on in to Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, where you're always going to get the Lee Michaels experience. Don't be intimidated. One of the things they do amazingly well at Lee Michaels is create a comfortable atmosphere in an environment that for most of us is intuitively uncomfortable. We don't buy diamond rings. We don't buy expensive jewelry. We don't buy beautiful pieces of jewelry every day. So when you have to do that, you want to be made to feel comfortable. And Lee Michaels does an amazing job at that. They call it the Lee Michaels experience. You walk in, they're going to give you chocolates on a tray, something cold to drink, and they're going to make you feel comfortable with whatever decision. And look, if you're buying something and you're not sure if she wants it, they accept returns. They want her to be thrilled with what you buy. That's why you give her a gift in the red box from Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. LMFJ.com, LMFJ.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. So FPI, the Football Power Index over at ESPN, did a full NFL season simulation. And did you see it? Did you see it, anybody? Did you see it, Muse?
I did not see it. No, I did not
Paulie,
see that.
did you see FBI season simulation?
I did not.
Okay. So, FPI, you all know, is the computer metric thing that ESPN does, and so they simulated the entire NFL season, every game, all of the playoffs, everything. The Super Bowl, they have the Eagles beating the Ravens. No, I'm sorry. Forgive me. Nope, that's not right. The Super Bowl, they have the Lions beating the Chiefs. Sean Salisbury had the Lions in the Super Bowl 2 years.
He did.
So he's got Lions beating the Chiefs. Chiefs beating Jets in the AFC Championship game. Lions beating Niners in the NFC Championship game. As for your New Orleans Saints, 7-10. So right on the number. What will surprise you, however, is that FPI has the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 10-7 winning the division. The Atlanta Falcons 6-11.
Ooh.
A total faceplant with Kirk Cousins. Now, I would like to point out that a year ago, FPI picked the Saints 5-12. They won 9 games. They had a Philadelphia-Baltimore Super Bowl. And they had the Panthers and the Commanders in the playoffs.
Ooh.
The 2 teams that ended up picking 1-2 in the draft. So needless to say,
they nail it.
Yeah. Well, the Panthers didn't pick 1 in the draft. As we know, they had to give their pick to Chicago because they had traded before for Bryce Young and all that stuff. But they were the worst team in the league is what I meant to say at that point. So take FPI with a grain of salt, but they got the Saints at 7-10. All right. Muse will have Tigers and the Pros to wrap up hour number 2 next.
AFR.
Brought to you by Glow Resources, GLO, glowresources.com, glowresources.com. They are complete employer solutions, Glow Resources and glowresources.com. If you own a business, maybe you're an HR manager, you're in charge of hiring, and you keep running into issues. You can't find qualified people. You hire people, but maybe they're not reliable. The turnover at that position, the lack of efficiency is costing you money. You got to call Glow Resources. Over the course of the year, Glow Resources will do 50 interviews a day on average, which amounts to some 15,000 interviews over the course of a year, and they have never, not once ever, had a negative review from one of their interviews through that process. They're exceptional at what they do, and they get results with a 93% retention rate. You need to find the right people. You need Glow Resources. GLO, glowresources.com.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all you can eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
I got a text from Erica. Look who's on the pivot. And it's a screenshot of Jason Kelsey. My wife doesn't know anything about football. She doesn't care a good gosh darn about the pivot. She knows I watch it all the time. But because the brother of the guy who's dating Taylor Swift is on the pivot and it popped up on her TikTok, she's sending me a screenshot of it. My wife is...
Thank you. Oh, God.
No,
oh,
listen,
man.
Can anyone else empathize? Erica is going to her friend's house on Thursday to watch the NFL season opener.
A lot of people are doing that, yeah. It's
No.
the opener of the NFL. Plenty of people do that. Parties everywhere.
She doesn't I'm not going. She's going just because of Travis Kelce. Neither of them care at all about the Chiefs, the Ravens. It is stunning the effect that Taylor Swift is still having on the. I keep telling, what are you going to do when they break up?
She's going to listen to the song that Taylor writes about it.
No doubt she will do that. She'll curse Uncle Travie forever because it's going to happen. They all end this way.
Especially hers.
Yeah, no doubt. What did she tell me? Hang on. What was the name of the food y'all are making for the party Thursday? ? Like, she came up with creative names for, like, pizza.
Oh, like Taylor Swift inspired names type deal? Yeah.
Like,
that's excessive. It's just pizza.
Pepper Mahomey pizza or something like that. It's ridiculous.
It's just pizza.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
She's texting me right now. All right, Muse. Tigers and the Pros hit it.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
Jamar Chase, he's back, ready to go. Of course, Jamar wants a new contract. Been in a hold-in Bengals camp all the way through camp, and then even partly of this week. But he was dressed out, back at practice. Joe Burrow, speaking after, says he's full go ready. But the Bengals listed Chase as limited. Hasn't got the new contract, but was back at practice and looks like he's expected to play when they open up the season on Sunday. Major League Baseball. This was awesome. You watching the Yankees last night, Matt?
I regret to inform you that I was watching the Yankees who were playing the Rangers.
They were.
The game was blacked out. I couldn't watch it on Yes because they were playing on the Rangers, and so I had to watch it on whatever the channel. I guess it's Valley on 38. And I was watching it until my wife was like, "Can I put on something for Drew?" And then she put on episodes of Sesame Street in Spanish because I don't know why my child wants to watch things in Spanish. He'll come and say in Spanish. He just wants to watch things in different languages.
That's awesome. Spanish is a cool language.
No doubt.
Yeah,
but he doesn't know what they're saying.
No one does. Josh Smith had a pretty awesome moment in this game. Was a pinch hitter. 0 for 1, but how about the athleticism? Little number up the line. DJ LeMahieu actually boots it.
Go, DJ.
And Josh Smith hurdles the pitcher who tried to recover from DJ's mistake. It was safe. Look at the hurdle, though, man. It's all in one motion. Hurdles the pitcher, lands on the bag. Like, that was insane.
Could have been bad.
It could have been bad, but it was awesome. In the same fact, he scored twice in the game as well. DJ was
Catholic
1 for 3.
Catholic High right there.
No,
Josh
DJ's from Michigan.
LeMahieu.
DJ's from Michigan. Did not go to Catholic High. Paul Skeens shoved day yesterday. 5 shutout. 9th win of the year. But how about this? 6 strikeouts, put him at 142. Ties the Pirates franchise rookie record that stood since 1900.
That was a long time ago.
It's pretty good.
Did you see the goofy umpire who
Yes, that guy stinks.
Loser.
Go away. Angel Reese had a double-double, 16 rebounds, 14 of them were defensive. Cry, haters.
Pretty good.
That's Tigers in the pros.
Presented by Evermore. Drink Evermore. Evermore.com. Evermore.com. EVAMOR. Evermore.com. Evermore.com. Love telling you about Evermore. Love drinking Evermore even more. So get Evermore online or at great local retailers. Natural artesian water, a healthier form of hydration. It's Evermore. Hour 3 coming up after SportsCenter.
AFR.
All right, y'all. We've reached hump day. Great day to get by Supper Club. If you're knocking off of work, almost 5 o'clock, don't head home. Head straight over to Supper Club. Scone, I don't have a jacket. You don't need one. Remember, the stated dress code at Supper Club. Collared shirt for gentlemen, slacks or nice jeans. It's a great opportunity to pop on in, belly up to the bar, have a glass of wine, fine premium cocktail. Maybe you want to, I think the whiskey selection is exquisite, and we are getting into whiskey season. So if you want to go try, I need to check if they still have. They had a barrel pick of Old Weller Antique 107, Supper Club barrel pick. You can try that when you go by Supper Club, and of course, you'll have the best meal of your life. It's Supper Club. I mean, quite literally, we were just in Las Vegas, and the steak that I have at Supper Club is a better quality meat than the steak I had in Las Vegas at a first-class steakhouse to win. You want a one-of-a-kind dining experience, you want Supper Club. Book your reservation, supperclubbtr.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Hopes raised in Cincinnati that receiver Jamar Chase will play in Sunday's opener against the Patriots. He took part in the first official practice of game week and individual drills. He was a hold-in during training camp amid a contract stalemate. The Bengals delaying Chase's extension is a head-scratcher for our Harry Douglas.
Listen, we all think Jamar Chase should go ahead and get his money now, because if you don't pay him the money right now instantly, it's only going to be more down the line. Yesterday's price is not today's price. So if I'm Mike Brown, I'm saying to myself, well, let me go ahead and get this done, because you also are tampering with the Super Bowl contending window.
Titans receiver DeAndre Hopkins returned to practice. Hopkins, who suffered a knee injury in late July, could be available against the Bears Sunday. Falcons tight end Kyle Pitts says he has no concerns about his tweaked hamstring keeping him out Sunday versus the Steelers. Brazil says it is tightened security ahead of Friday's Packers-Eagles game amid player safety concerns. LSU running back John Emery expected to miss the rest of the season with a torn ACL sustained yesterday at practice.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your car, home, motorcycle, commercial auto, and more. All your protection in one place. Bundle and save at progressive.com.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
That's right. Go!
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Pluckers. And Matt?
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
You sir. And a Mr. Toby Tom play. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. 5 o'clock, quitting time. Glad you're driving home with us. And oh, by the way, it's a hump day.
It's
Let's What's up, everybody?
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Otter Locks.
Hump day.
In 45 minutes.
It's hump day.
Or
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Otter Locks.
Hump day.
Currently posted.
It's hump day.
At LouisianaSports.net.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
How about that?
Hump day.
Don't leave it up there too long, Paul. We want them to go to the website.
It's hump day.
There it is.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
A 4-pack from the Otter.
Hump day.
We'll have it posted daily.
It's hump day.
At LouisianaSports.net.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Before you hear it live.
Hump day.
On AFR.
It's hump day.
Tim Rebow is here in hour 1.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Alex Zietlow is here in hour 2.
Hump day.
He was a chatty Cathy, wasn't he?
Yeah, a lot to say.
It's hump day.
Hard to have a lot to say about the Carolina Panthers.
He did, though.
But he
Mike,
did.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
All right, let's get going. Russ Mitchell here in 12 minutes from right now. We got Russ for a couple of segments. We'll recap last weekend in the conference. We'll look ahead to week 2 in the SEC. We'll get to all of that. Brian Kelly was on the SEC coaches teleconference here on Wednesday. We've covered a lot of ground. The big news of the day was John Emery, torn ACL. Got that word earlier today. I believe Wilson Alexander had it first. Confirmed Hunt had it over at LouisianaSports.net. But the news broke after Brian Kelly was on the teleconference, so we didn't have a chance to ask Brian Kelly about it at that point. But he'll meet with reporters after practice on Thursday, and no doubt we'll have an opportunity to comment about that. It's devastating for John Emery. We opened the show with my comments on that. I think many of you, if you listen to the show, know how I feel about John Emery. As few players that I have pulled for as hard as I pull for John Emery because of all he has persevered through in order to get to this, his 6th season. And you really wanted a great ending to his career. And unfortunately, after one game now, a torn ACL and a non-contact injury at practice on Wednesday after the season opener. So disappointing. And for LSU, it leaves you paper thin at running back. You got 3 scholarship running backs. So Josh Williams, Caleb Jackson, and then Caden Durham, the freshman. After that, you're talking about walk-ons. So you are desperate to get Trey Holly back from his legal situation. The next court date, there was a continuance to the middle of September. Hopefully that is rectified by the middle of this month, and then you can get Trey Holly working back into space into some good shape and have him available for you in the month of October. But we'll certainly keep you posted there. There was a couple other things Brian Kelly said on the teleconference that I found interesting. He was asked about Garrett Nussmeier as a potential running threat. Now, there's a couple of different ways to look at this. But I'll point to that 3rd down play, that 3rd and 1 that we've talked a lot about where John Emery was hit behind the line. And you can blame the offensive line, but that wasn't the offensive line. You had Kamorian Pimpton at tight end on the right side. The defensive end crashed right across Pimpton's face and knocked John Emery for a loss. That defensive end did not even give a millisecond of a thought to the possibility that Garrett Nussmeier might pull the ball and run it around right end, because if he did, he might have hit his head on the goalpost. Because nobody home. Everybody knew LSU was running the ball, and in that moment, the defensive end pot committed inside, crossed Kamorian Pimpton's face, and tackled John Emery for a loss. If you had the threat of Nuss pulling the ball and running, it's first down. Then again, if Pimpton holds his block, it's a first down. Either way, there is no threat whatsoever of Garrett Nussmeier running the ball, and Brian Kelly was asked, is that something that could change?
No, I don't think the risk is too high. I think he's extremely capable as a runner. I think within the offensive structure, we want to take advantage of his strengths. And, quite frankly, I don't think we did all of that. He was 30 for 39, but I think we can do more. I think as coaches, we can move him around a little bit. And I think on the occasional, run here or there, as long as it's at the right time in the right place, I think he can be a weapon.
I completely agree. Right time, right place, he could be a weapon. And we did see that in fall camp. We actually saw in one of the team periods a designed run for Garrett Nussmeier, a boot where the play was for Garrett Nussmeier. So that's in there. We saw it in fall camp. Like, they have that play in the playbook. I do think that there's risk because you want to know the surest fire way to ruin this season, to make sure this season amounts to nothing, get Garrett Nussmeier hurt. Look, a year ago, Jaden Daniels was magnificent. He had one of the all-time college football seasons. But you had Garrett Nussmeier behind him. It would not have looked the same, clearly. But you had a competent quarterback, a veteran quarterback behind Jaden Daniels. You do not have that this year. So you have to be very diplomatic about when you are going to put Garrett Nussmeier in harm's way. Your offensive line, for all the run block talk, was magnificent in pass block. Garrett Nussmeier didn't get a scratch on him. That's what you need. Keep him upright. So if you are going to put him in harm's way, you better be diligent about when you're going to take that risk. That 3rd and 1 play, that might have been a good opportunity to call the number. Then again, if you block it properly, it's a first down. But yes, at least, at minimum, the threat of the quarterback running the football has to be there. I remember 2018 Joe Burrow. Y'all remember what happened that year. In 2018, LSU had 2 quarterbacks leave in fall camp. Justin McMillan left in fall camp and ended up going and becoming the starter at Tulane. Lowell Narcisse left in fall camp as well. And you were left with Burrow and a second-year Miles Brennan. And we later learned Brennan had an injury that year and was unavailable for chunks of that season. Meaning you had Burrow and then a walk-on. So they had to be Burrow ended up running it 120 times that year. But Nick Brissett ran it 240 times. Clyde Edwards-Helaire had over 140 rushes. You had 2 running backs that combined for 400 rushing attempts. They shouldered the load. And Burrow was a piece of the running game in 2018. That's what this needs to look like. One more from Brian Kelly. And this was about 3rd and short. Obviously, because of what happened on the play where you ran and got stuffed. What needs to change on 3rd and short?
When you're not successful on 3rd and short, you're going to do a deep dive into scheme and play calling. And there's not a lot of schemes on 3rd and 1, right? But you can be diverse in terms of how you set up your offensive structure that gives you other options other than just trying to pile that thing up inside. So I think that's where we have to be better. I think we have to be a little bit more creative and innovative and make the defense defend the entire field. And I think we'll do that moving forward.
Brian Kelly on the SEC Coaches teleconference. We'll see how much or how diverse they may get this weekend with Nichols coming in. It'll be a slow build, no doubt, for this LSU team offensively to what they will ultimately become when the calendar flips to October and they start playing real meaningful games again. Okay, it is After Further Review. We're brought to you by Parish Restoration. Go to parishbuilt.com. Kill mold, remove odor, patented non-toxic dry fog, the treatment I've told you about forever. Jim Woodworth merged with my partners over at Parish, Ryan Terrio, Richard Tilley, to create Parish Restoration. I'm not a part of that, just for full disclosure, on the restoration side. But it's all under one umbrella. So you can go to parishbuilt.com, hit the restoration tab, and you can learn more. You could read the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers report. No company in the country that licenses this technology has dry fogged more square footage than Parish Restoration. As a matter of fact, earlier this year, they dry fogged one of the largest commercial buildings in the entire state of Louisiana. You want to learn more? You want to see videos, testimonials, learn more about this technology? Go to parishbuilt.com. It's quick, it's cost-effective, it's efficient, and it works. It's Parish Restoration. Go to parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com, and hit the restoration tab. Okay, Russ Mitchell will join us when we come back. We were, of course, hanging out with Russ in Vegas this past weekend. The game didn't go like we wanted. I'm not sure Russ will have much to say about LSU and USC. Did that already in Whiskey and Wine. But Russ, no doubt, will have a lot of thoughts on the rest of the SEC weekend. We'll preview the weekend ahead. Stay here. It's AFR.
AFR.
Hey, as we get closer to your college football weekend, and of course on Thursday, the start of the NFL season, make sure you get by Rouse's. Rouse's.com, Rouse's.com. Download the Rouse's app. You're having your game watch party, your tailgate this weekend, your home gate, whatever it may be. Oh, here it is, Muse. Erica and her friends are cooking mac and cheese and pepper mahomie pizza. If you want the necessary supplies to make mac and cheese, or pepper mahomie pizza, you can find it over at Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouse's.com, Rouse's.com. Remember also, go to their wine section, buy 4, save more. The more bottles of wine you buy, the more you save. Get to try some interesting wines. Try it. It's at Rouse's. This feels like home.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all you can eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird. Russ Mitchell.
Kicking the tires and lighting the fires. Russ! Literally.
Well, I'm proud of Russ. I think Russ deserves it.
It's football! Rusty, come on up here. Absolutely, I thought that was going to happen because it's state. It's supposed to happen.
You know, I haven't had much of a chance to talk to you man to man, Russ.
How are things out there at DBU?
I want you to stay here and take care of things, Russ.
The only way you can point up is up.
Not going in our yard, Russ. It's going in our living room.
Just like Troy.
Can't see the line, can you, Russ?
Put your foot on his throat and choke him out.
Take it, Russ.
Well, it's always great to see Russ Mitchell. Unfortunately, every time Russ Mitchell and I seem to go to an away football game, it doesn't go good for the good guys. How are you?
Kicking the tires, lighting the fires, and that, by the way, is why I didn't go to the national championship game against Wisconsin. But
it would have had nothing to do with you or the result. And by the way, you were in. Yes, again, you were in Baton Rouge last. You were in Baton Rouge last year for Florida, and they won. And Jayden Daniels won the Heisman that day. You were in the Superdome when LSU beat Ohio State for the national championship. So stop giving me this crap about you not going to the LSU Clemson national championship game because you're bad luck. That's bogus. That team would. You could have lined up Christ Almighty with the 12 apostles as his teammates, and LSU and Joe Burrow would have beaten him by 50. All right.
Can I thank some people for the weekend? That
yes.
I want to thank the Mockler folks who are just always amazing folks. And
cheers.
Unbelievable. Grace at John Deere was a lot of fun sitting with her, and Spencer and his wife, Tremaine, and Mike Guidry's a boss. So thanks to everybody over the weekend.
Awesome. We had a great time, man. It was good to see you.
It was great. By the way, the three things I took away from the game, I don't want to talk about it very much. I think you've already discussed it. Other than the fact that I don't actually mind playing difficult opponents at the beginning of the season. I just mind losing to them year after year. You know, win a few and it's okay. But, you know, the three things that I was expecting, or at least hoping, all happened. I mean, the LSU fans were amazing. Just amazing. It was really outshone the USC fans who they had like 50% of the stadium, and it felt like they had 30% of the stadium.
Yeah, it's true.
You know, I was watching Nuss and the defense. I wanted to see the defense improve, and I wanted to see Nuss be accurate. He outperformed. I know he had that difficult throw into the ground that stopped the clock on that, you know, last drive that they had to kick the field goal on, and we talked about that after the game. But for the most part, Nuss played better than I expected him to, so I was happy with that. And the defense played a little better than I expected them to. So just a disappointing outcome.
Does it change? One more on LSU. Does it change your opinion on LSU's season, the outcome?
Well, I had this as a win. So, you know, I mean.
Yeah, me too.
So that's another loss. I wasn't concerned. This year is about, we talked about this on the Whiskey and Wine after the show, but this is, after the game, this is like Burrow's junior year and like Jayden's junior year. This is about setting yourself up for next year. This is about, did Emery blow out his knee today?
John Emery did, yes.
God damn.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus, that kid can't catch a break.
I know.
This year is about getting ready and continuing that advancement. That's what made, by the way, the sloppy plays during the game so frustrating. You know, I can take an offsides or two. You know, teams had across college football had that in the first week, but you know there were some bonehead plays, and Kelly talked about it after the game. But there were some bonehead plays that you don't want to see from your team. You were so hot. You were so hot.
With the kickoff?
No, at the end of the game with the personal foul penalty for taking your helmet off.
Yeah.
You were really hot about
that. It cost you points.
Yeah.
I mean, it cost you points. I mean, look.
Field position and then points. Yeah.
Zachariah Branch hadn't returned to kickoff the entire game because Aaron Burrell was booting him through the end zone. And now you got to back up and kick from the 20, and the kid damn near houses it. The kicker had to make the tackle. So, yeah man, it just was such a winnable game. It's different if you just got outplayed and you weren't as good as you thought. But when it's such a winnable game and it goes the way it did, that's the real frustrating part.
I was really expecting LSU to win that game. Even when they took the lead, that last drive, Nuss took them all the way, throwing the ball onto the ground there and stopping the clock, which allowed USC to have the ball. Even if you don't score a touchdown there and you have to kick a field goal to tie the game, if you complete that pass and you take out on second down. I'm not even talking about the third down play, which he looked frustrated, and it looked to me like he was trying to call timeout. I don't know if you talked about that on that third down play.
No.
That was called a penalty and declined by USC. But if you complete the wide open second down play, the clock keeps ticking. That's 30 seconds, maybe even 35 seconds off the clock. USC, it's a completely different drive for USC. They're much more scrambled. There's more pressure.
Man, if he completes that pass, Russ, I think it's a touchdown.
He scores. Yes, I do too.
It was
but
the
I didn't
same
want to...
play that. No, it's the same. It was. I don't know that it was the same formation, but it was the same look on the play that Aaron Anderson scored in the third quarter.
Yeah, I would have been one-on-one run to the end zone, and I put my money on the running back in that situation, or the receiver.
Yeah. Super disappointing, as we well know, but there was a lot around the league this past weekend. We talked plenty about LSU and USC.
Not as bad as Florida.
Yeah. Cool. Misery loves company.
I love all my children the same.
No, you don't. You hate Florida, and I don't blame you.
They got dominated in the trenches, man. Outplayed on both sides of the line of scrimmage. They allowed 8 tackles for loss and 3 sacks, and couldn't put any pressure on Ward in the swamp.
So how bad is it?
I think it's pretty bad, man. I mean, year 3 under Billy was supposed to be like an improved culture, an improved discipline, and obviously that wasn't the case. They looked like they quit, which really gets me worked up. I don't like when kids quit, and they look like they quit. And offensively, I mean, particularly the passing game, Mertz looked terrible. And I agree with you. I hate it when people always take the one running play out. But you take out that one run they averaged, which was, by the way, that 70-yard run was 30% of their offense in the whole game. You take that out, they averaged 2 yards a carry. I mean, they could not move the ball offensively. So, yeah, didn't you say that you thought Napier wouldn't be on the sideline when they come to play LSU?
Yeah, I don't know how he makes it at this point.
Are you making that an official prediction?
Yes. I don't think he's coaching LSU coaching against LSU the second week of November.
Yeah, I think I might agree with you.
And I looked at it before, Ross, and I will.
Careful.
For those that missed, I mistakenly called Russ Ross on Friday on AFR. When I looked at the schedule, I was looking at the open date for Florida because there's one around the LSU game. It's where is it? Okay, so it's after Kentucky and before they play Georgia. So I would think if you're looking for a spot, that would be it to get your open date, like before you play Georgia, if you're going to make a change. Because, listen, they got A&M at Mississippi State, UCF, at Tennessee, Kentucky. I mean, if they lose at Tennessee, home against Kentucky, that might be the spot because you're going Georgia at Texas, LSU, Ole Miss at Florida State. I mean, are you really going to play out the string? I guess you can.
They got outgained by 100% basically against Miami at home. Imagine what happens when they play that Georgia offense on a neutral field. Oh, my God. Oh, my goodness.
It's going to be so fun. I can't wait to watch it.
The flip of that is Vandy.
Yeah, man. I tweeted when that happened, and Russ and I were sitting together at the Sportsbook in Park MGM watching that Vandy win when they won in overtime. And I tweeted Russ that like the cheer in the Sportsbook was like when a parent applauds their child for going pee-pee on the potty for the first time. Oh my God, you did it! I am so proud of you. That's kind of what it felt like.
When that kicker punched that kick wide right at the end of regulation, I was like, oh, Vandy, come on, man.
I know.
But it's like people forgot the Auburn game last year when Diego Pavia had 3 touchdown passes and ran for 5 yards a carry.
Oh, Auburn people haven't forgotten. For those who don't remember, that was the New Mexico State when New Mexico State beat Auburn at Jordan Hare.
Yeah, he was the Conference USA Offensive Player of the Year. Now he's the quarterback that led Vandy over the weekend to beat Vatek. By the way, a lot of people had Vatek winning the ACC coming into the year. That's a good team that Vandy just beat, and they overcame a 17-point lead. They gave up a 17-point lead and overcame that loss. Like traditionally, Vandy would fold there.
Yeah.
Pavia didn't let them. So, I mean, he's a true dual threat player. He rushed for 100 yards plus, scored the game-winning touchdown and overtime running, and threw for 2 bills. Had that big fourth quarter touchdown pass that tied up the game. It's going to be fun watching Vandy this year.
Vandy does come to Baton Rouge in late November. All of a sudden, that game takes on a little bit of a different meaning. I'm not suggesting Vanderbilt would win in Baton Rouge, but it is a game where you look at Pavia and you go, "Oh man, that's actually a dude that you kind of have to contest with a little bit."
He's not a quitter.
No doubt.
He's a big kid too. He's pretty thick. I think he can hold up for the season. So it's going to be. You know, you always worry about that with a quarterback that's going to run like that, but we'll see.
Very quickly, a minute. Anything at all, any takeaway at all from the disgusting glut of points in the awful games that nobody wanted to see?
You're talking about like Bama 63-0 and Ole Miss 76-0.
Arkansas scored 70. Missouri scored 50.
Missouri,
Somebody else,
Tennessee,
Auburn, Tennessee. It was absurd.
69-3.
Yeah.
Look, I've been talking about this for over 30 years. Just in those 9 games alone, those top 15 games, in those 9, they 487-15. That's on average 54-1. We got to do better, guys. I mean, we got to do better. And I don't know if this is the worst I've ever seen it. I don't know if it's because of the NIL, and I'm in favor of this, and I know it's messy, and it'll be messy for another 5 or 10 years, but I don't know if this means that you're seeing guys like Pavia, guys like Green at Arkansas, guys who lead the conference, you know, in the Mountain West and come over and now play for Arkansas. I don't know if that's part of the reason why you had this 487-15, but it's a joke. We've got to get away from that.
I agree. I can't wait for the day when we have 12 games that everybody wants to see.
At least 11.
12. Or contract the schedule to 11 and just play 11.
Fine. But I do like the idea of, you know, we talked about this, tax revenue. I do like the idea of one game against the school in your state so that the tax money can spend a little less, get some money over to.
I'm not worried about them.
All right.
Not worried about it. All right, it's after further review. Russ Mitchell is with us. Let me knock out a quick break. When we come back, we'll look ahead to this coming weekend in the league, which actually is kind of a tasty schedule. Stay here. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Darren James and Associates, brokered by LPT Realty. Buying or selling commercial or residential. You need a realtor, and you do need a realtor. You need Darren James. Remember, 73%. 3 out of 4 people that list their home for sale by owner end up hiring a realtor. A lot of different reasons why. Maybe it's just you're not quite sure how to accurately price your home. Maybe it's the mountain of paperwork that you're not used to. Or maybe you just don't have time for all the showings while you're living your busy life. That's why you got to hire Darren James. The plaque just came in. Number 1 spot in Louisiana, number 13 in America on the Wall Street Journal Real Trends list of the top 1,000 realtors in America. You need a realtor? You need the best. You need Darren James. Agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has back-to-school savings like $16,000 off 25 Ram 1500 trucks. We're open for business in our beautiful new showroom and taking $16,000 off. All new Bayou vehicles come with a complimentary extended warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help protect our planet. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner.
After Further Review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all you can eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Rolling along here, 5 o'clock hour. We'll get to Otter Locks in about 10 minutes. Wrapping up with Russ Mitchell, college football news on Twitter at Russ Mitchell CFB if you want to give him a follow. Talked about last weekend. Let's look ahead. Texas at Michigan headlines the slate, not only for the SEC, but nationally. How do you feel about the Longhorns going on the road to the Big House?
I mean, Texas scored like 3,600 points against Colorado State.
I know.
Look, don't look at that final score, 30-10 over Fresno State. They were sluggish. Michigan was sluggish at home on offense everywhere. They couldn't move the ball consistently until their fourth quarter. They just had more. They just, you would expect that from Michigan against Fresno State. So until they got that, until the talent advantage completely overwhelmed Fresno State, they struggled. They couldn't move the ball. Warren was at best ineffective at quarterback with 100 yards and a touchdown and an interception. No explosive plays. They got a new coaching staff that's adjusting to implementing play calling. All their points came pretty much in the fourth quarter. They got a pick six from their defense. Meanwhile, lost, by the way, in the Texas win blowout against Colorado State. That's a really good Colorado State offense that they snuffed. It's a high-powered passing game. They held that passing offense to 74 yards. 2 Bills less. They couldn't get to 200 total yards of offense, Colorado State. So what's the spread in this? I think Texas wins by 2 touchdowns easy.
7.5?
Yeah, this is a national championship caliber team that with experience that's strolling in to Michigan. The Texas defense is 3 times that Fresno State defense. Fresno's not even a state. Texas is going to beat Michigan like a redheaded step mule.
A rented redheaded step mule. Yes. We need to bring that one back. I think that one's been lost in the ether. We actually do have a conference game. South Carolina's at Kentucky. And for all we've talked about Napier and Pittman, is Shane Beamer maybe floating toward the hot seat a little bit?
He had such a nice start, too. I mean, you got to have a quarterback in this day and age. And Lenora Sellers had it was a pretty rocky opener, man.
Yeah, man.
Like, did he have 10 yards? I don't know what he had throwing, but it was pretty bad. They are going to have to improve that offense significantly against a pretty strong Kentucky defense. Meanwhile, Brock Vandagriff looked pretty good coming over from Georgia to take over the helm at Kentucky. Pretty solid, 3 touchdowns. I think, what did he average, like 5 yards a carry? So
you're talking about who?
Vandagriff, the quarterback.
Oh, Vandagriff. I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about the running back. Vandagriff ran for, let's see, I had the box score right here. They won 31-0. Let's see. Box score. Vandagriff ran for, it was 5 for 35. Average 7 yards carry.
So, I mean, he can run. He threw for 3 touchdowns. He's got a great arm. He's experienced. I think he's a graduate transfer, right? So I think this all comes down to South Carolina's defense. They know they're not going to score a lot of points. Once again, if you go to South Carolina and play defense, you're going to be on the field a lot and get a lot of experience. They got to stop Kentucky. If they don't, Kentucky rolls.
There's 3 other Power 5 non-conference games this week. You got Arkansas at Oklahoma State, Tennessee at NC State, and Mississippi State at Arizona State. I mean, it's nice to see, or Power 4, I should say, old habits die hard, non-conference games. I don't know that any of those really stand out for one reason or another. Is there anything with those 3 that jumps out to you?
Yeah, I mean, you can pick one for all of them. The Tennessee-North Carolina State game, State's got a lot of experience at quarterback and with skill position players. I mean, they really struggled against Western Carolina in week 1, which was really surprising. I don't know if it was I didn't have enough time to really dig into that game, having gone to the LSU game, but they'll have to play better against the Vols. For the Vols, I'm pretty confident that offense will show up against the Wolfpack, so it's going to come down to the defensive performance. Arkansas, you got to do what you did in week 1. You got to get Taylon Green running. If you can establish a quarterback run game if you do not have a dual threat offense traveling into Boone Pickens Stadium, you lose that game against Oklahoma State. So they got to be able to get a running quarterback game going there. And by the way, if you don't know the name Ollie Gordon, he's the best running back in college football this year. So if you get a chance to watch this game, it should be a dynamic game. They got to contain Ollie Gordon, and they got to establish the quarterback run.
It's 11 a.m. Central Time on ABC. The other one, by the way, that I didn't mention was Cal at Auburn. That's another Power 4 non-conference game. Cal, remember, now in the ACC, traveling to Jordan-Hare Stadium.
Cal's is not going to be very good this year. I mean, obviously, you're watching Auburn to see they're one of your sleeper teams this year, right?
Yes, so not as a contender for the playoff. I just think that they're a team that I would take their over. I think that could very well be an 8 or 9 win football team.
Yeah, I mean they had a lot of close games last year that they let slip by, not the least of which was the Alabama game.
Well, and New Mexico State the week before that.
Yeah, although now that we've had a chance to see Bobby at Vandy, maybe that was a little bit more to do with his stellar play than luck. I will say, although losing by 3 touchdowns is embarrassing, I'm more interested in the State ASU game. Okay. ASU's got the kid who transferred from Michigan State at quarterback, Sam Levitt. He had a good performance to start. By the way, State came out of week 1 averaging, I think, more plays per minute than any team in college football. 3 plays a minute, basically. So
it's Jeff Lebby. I mean, and you got Blake Shapen at quarterback, who, by the way, his stat line was 15 of 20 for 247 and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, the ASU defense on the road is going to be a little bit more challenging, but that you're going to State's got to keep that. Arizona State's defense, believe it or not, playing in the Pac-12 last year, I don't think that they're going to be really ready for that up-tempo. Not that degree of up-tempo. So if they can execute State like they did last week and even 2.5 plays a minute, they beat State. So that's what you're looking for. They beat Arizona State.
Russ Mitchell, College Football News on Twitter at Russ Mitchell CFB. Anything else before you dismount?
State-on-state violence, baby.
We'll see you next week. We appreciate the time as always.
All right, talk to you later, brother.
Later. It's After Further Review. We're brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center, WilliamsonEye.com. If you want to see 2020, call 924-2020. That's 924-2020 for the Williamson Eye Center. As I always say, you want to ditch the contacts and glasses forever, no matter your age or your refractive issue, they have a way to do it over at the Williamson Eye Center. So go to WilliamsonEye.com or call 924-2020, 924-2020. Maybe it's LASIK. Maybe it's an EVO ICL. That's the implantable contact lens, which is a reversible procedure, unlike LASIK, which reshapes your eye. There's PRK. There's the custom lens replacement. Again, no matter your age or your refractive issue, you want to ditch contacts and glasses forever and see with perfect 20/20 vision. You can do it at the Williamson Eye Center. 924-2020 or WilliamsonEye.com. Okay, y'all. Been a really good show. Again, if you missed anything, AFR On Demand presented by Brett Golf. Tim Rebow, Nichols head coach, was here hour one. We took a closer look at Carolina, the Panthers, with Alex Zietlow of the Charlotte Observer in hour two. You just heard Russ Mitchell. We went through the Brian Kelly teleconference earlier today, and, of course, we led with the very disappointing news. John Emery's 6th season at LSU is over. Tore his ACL in a non-contact drill on Wednesday at practice. And Brian Kelly will meet with reporters after practice on Thursday. No doubt we'll be asked about it. We'll address it. But just a massively disappointing day for Tiger fans, certainly for John Emery. Okay, let me knock out our final break of the show, y'all. We'll come back. Otter Locks. By the way, you could have already gotten your Otter Locks and your plays made if you'd gone to LouisianaSports.net. We'll start posting Otter Locks there every single day earlier in the show. It's AFR.
After Further Review.
Brought to you by Clegg's Nursery. Was chatting with Miss Teresa over at Clegg's earlier in the week, y'all. Today is the day. Today is the day that Clegg's got all of their shipments in. Pumpkins, hay bales, scarecrows. That is one of our favorite times of year. Erica, we go over to Clegg's Nursery. We get a bunch of pumpkins to decorate the front of the house, get the hay bales and all that good stuff. It's just an awesome time of year when you start getting into fall. If you want all of your fall decor, they've got it at Clegg's Nursery. They're doing the pricing and the displays and all that stuff right now. Should be good to roll for Friday. So make plans to get on by any of the 4 Clegg's Nursery locations. Again, Siegen near Airline, LA 16 in Denham. There's none of the Garden Center within a 5-mile radius of that one in Denham. Mid-City on Donmore. You turn off of Florida onto Donmore. It's right there, right actually by the Texas Club. And then, of course, the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. If you're heading towards Baton Rouge from Central, you can't miss it. Clegg's Nursery.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have.
After Further Review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all you can eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Very good. All right, down the stretch we come. Final segment on Hump Day edition of AFR, presented by Pluckers. Find out what we're betting on tonight. Time for Auto Locks.
Auto Locks.
All right, time to win some money.
Presented by Lofton Staffing Services. At Lofton, we put people to work. Call us today at 924-0200 or go to lofton.jobs.
I think it's safe to say that I won the bet.
Otter, how are you?
What's up, Matt? How you doing, buddy?
Doing great. 3-0 for the Otter last night. How
there you go.
About it, man. Give that man a bell or 2 or 3. Love it, man. Let's keep the good times rolling, man. Anything yet on NFL, or are we going to start looking at the game tomorrow?
Oh, no. I'm still focused day to day, man. Day to day.
Got it.
Yeah,
all right.
So, going to start with the Reds and Astros. Astros have a comfortable enough lead. The Seattle is just leaking the oil. I don't really feel that they have a sense of urgency. They're playing good, and Arrighetti, he's improved, but he can be hot and cold. At Cincinnati, I think Cincinnati is a favorable matchup here. Better pitcher over the course of the season. Plus money at home. I'm going to take the Reds plus 120.
By the way, the Reds lead 1-0 in the bottom of the first. Reds now on the money line minus 200, which is why you need to go to LouisianaSports.net, like we told you to do, to get Otters plays, because you'd already be in a much better spot than right now. So I guess we're going to pass on that one. We can maybe look at some in-game value if it starts to shift. But Reds already up 1-0, so good play for those who made it earlier.
Plus 120 and minus $2 is not the same.
Little bit of a difference. Yep, little different.
Yeah,
yep.
No doubt. Milwaukee, the money line at home, the Brewers against the Cardinals here, extra innings. How about that just missed catch? God, it takes a little luck to go 3-0, and we got it when the center fielder could not maintain holding the ball on the last out in the bottom of the 11th inning. We'll take it, and so Milwaukee will win tonight. Much stronger team. One of the real great stories of baseball this year, over exceeding everybody's expectations. And they do the little things. I understand. I love how they call them the little things. When you don't do the little things, they become really bad mistakes. So Brewers, you don't have to worry about that. We've been riding them all season long. Minus 125, a cheap price at home against the Cardinals.
Okay.
Going against the Guardians here, this would be a sweet spot, but this is for the Kansas City Royals and Guardians. Guardians win the first 2, but Centenary finest, Seth Lugo on the hill, and he's been their constant this year. A big pitching matchup for the Royals tonight, minus 125 or minus 130 there.
DraftKings has it 130, but as you always say, it pays to shop around.
Yes. No, the minus 130 in Kansas City.
Yes.
Okay. You said plus. But anyway.
Oh, my apologies. Yes, minus 130 at DraftKings.
Okay. And then finally, tonight, we're going to take a shot. Dodgers, one of the hottest teams in baseball. They win again in extra innings and cover the run line. That just keeps the public betting coming on top of it. But Angels have a considerably better pitching matchup tonight. Bobby Miller for the Dodgers doesn't deserve to be a $2 road favorite over anybody. Give us Griffin Canning at home. I think DraftKings says plus 170.
Plus 170.
I would wait. I would think this line would even get higher than that with the walk-up money. So the Angels, big dog at home against the Dodgers.
All right. So the Reds already in progress, but Milwaukee minus 122. The Royals minus $1.25 or $1.30 wherever you play, and then the Angels plus $1.70. But Otter says wait on it. Could get an even better price than that. Where are you tomorrow?
In my bed for as long as I can, trying to catch up on my sleep from Vegas, and then we go to the original walk-on Burbank tomorrow.
Charles and Jimmy lunchtime, live at lunch tomorrow. Walk-ons on Burbank. Thank you, Otter.
All right, good luck.
We're brought to you by Optimize, GeneratorPeople.com, GeneratorPeople.com. If you have ever thought about having a Generac automatic home standby generator installed, Optimize is who you need to call because they do one thing. They do it better than anyone. They sell, service, and install Generac automatic home standby generators. While other companies, HVAC company that also has a generator division. No. Optimize. They're not installing HVACs one day and then the next day servicing your generator. They do one thing. They do it better than anyone. 4 physical locations, Lake Charles to Slidell, everywhere in between. So no matter where you are on the 1012 corridor, our friends at Optimize can help. GeneratorPeople.com, GeneratorPeople.com. Got $600 for a down payment. They got a financing option for any budget. GeneratorPeople.com. Optimize, GeneratorPeople.com. All right, let's go around the room. Muse, what'd you learn today?
Taylor Calandro still doesn't have a voice from Sunday.
How about that? Our guy was struggling.
That's effort there,
Our
man.
guy was struggling. The only time I ever lose my voice when Nick Saban retires.
And when Bama loses recruits.
Paulie, what'd you learn today?
I learned that PFF has the Buccaneers winning the NFC South.
How about that? FPI.
I'm sorry, yeah,
FPI, yeah.
What'd you learn, Matt?
The Bare Naked Ladies are coming to Biloxi on October 26th when LSU plays Texas A&M, so I can't go. And I'm pissed off about it.
Yeah. You are?
When am I ever going to have an opportunity to see Bare Naked Ladies again?
I'm sure you will.
They are.
After further review.
As we get on down the road, remind you about Shawbill's Tire and Auto Service. ShawbillsTire.com, ShawbillsTire.com. Tell you every single day and have for years. If you need to buy tires, buy the best tires on the road at the cheapest price possible. That's what Shawbills does. So go to the website first. ShawbillsTire.com. Hit the promotions tab at the top. You'll see all of their specials. And they do such a great job of combining the manufacturer's offer with their own in-house offer to get you the best price. That's why they guarantee it. It's part of the Charlie's dozen. You buy tires at Shawbill's, you find the same tire advertised cheaper somewhere else, they'll refund you 125% of the difference. Got nothing to lose. ShawbillsTire.com, ShawbillsTire.com. You can shop tires online. You can schedule service online. Need your tires rotated, your oil changed, the brakes squeaking. They can do it all at Shawbills. ShawbillsTire.com. Shawbills, we keep you rolling.
It's an everyday thing here. We work horses in the mornings and we work on the property during the day, and without these John Deere tractors, it'd almost be impossible to keep up with the place. I've dealt with some of the other colors and stuff, and I never really got the response back that I get from John Deere, We really enjoy dealing with Sunshine. They're good people. They always check on us and make sure our equipment's running, and we love them. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
We're Rev Business, a local provider with nearly 90 years of experience. So when it comes to business in Louisiana, we know that personalized service is key. And we're here to go the extra mile with all fiber solutions that deliver what every business needs: reliability and quality. We're not just providers. We're the local team dedicated to helping you succeed. True partnerships are homegrown. Rev Business, internet, phone,